out if you ignite him. He's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me, and he gets claws real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored, loves the blood and gore, always wanting more, freedom from the source. They don't really understand until they feel the force departed. If you start shit, you'll be heartless in the darkness, torn apart quick. You left scars ripped, you'll be chewed up and discarded.
And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
Adrenaline pressure, it's stormy weather, lightning, thunder, pouring weather. Yo, I'm a go-getter, try to do it like me, but I do it better. I got a mind that's clever, the beast inside is competitive as ever. I'm conscious, my subconscious, an accomplice to me. I promise the darkness, I can honest believe. But don't cross me, I might lose control of the lost beast. He's locked away inside with the key control by fight or flight.
And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
What is up, everybody? How are y'all doing? All right, last song before we start. You know what it means. Go get whatever food you need. Go get whatever drinks you need. If you need to smoke something, get that too, because it's going to be another long one. We got to do the second half of that video. So, here we go.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad,
Yeah.
baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad, chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back, I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me, ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact, give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, I'll live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
What's up, everybody? How are y'all doing? Hello, hello, hello. I was so tired after last night's stream. I went to go take an hour nap so I can go watch Eva get interviewed. And yeah, I ended up sleeping for 3 hours. I was tired. Oh, hold on a second. I gotta blow my nose. Hold on one second, guys. Thank you. I'm glad you liked that thumbnail. I appreciate it. Okay. Just to let y'all know, tonight at 10 p.m. on the broadcast, we are going live. And we're going to give a quick synopsis about the Swoop video. And then we're going to show what Johnny's reaction was to it on Twitter. And then we're going to react to Adam McIntyre's video, the Swoop Johnny video that he made. So, just to let you know, 10 p.m., that's what we're doing over at the broadcast. So, FYI. The conductor is back. Conductor, you are just on time, buddy. Just in time. And my sanctioned troll is here. I love my sanctioned troll. Xylie gets biased. Love it. Okay, hold on. Okay, pause. Pause. Go ahead and render it a little bit. Hold on, I'm just trying to set it up. I didn't have it pulled up already. Because, you know, I'm a bad streamer. That's what we do. Go back a little bit. Alright. Janelle gifted 5. Xylie gets real memberships. Thank you very much. 07's in the chat, please. Or kitty salutes if you're already a member. Put a kitty head and a 7. That works too. Thank you very much. Hell yeah. On Monday nights, I usually do members only streams, but I skipped it this night, because I wanted to do the second half of this video, because I didn't want to put too much time between the two halves of this video. So we'll get back onto memberships only on Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do members only, chats, where only my members and my mods can type in them, but they're shown publicly, and then once we're done with the live stream, it gets put into members only playback. And let me tell you something, members, you get a lot of content, because there's times where I decide to put up go live at like 3, 4 in the morning, because Leon and I can't sleep, or Matt Pitt has made me upset, so I go live at midnight and fuss about him. And then those always go to members only. So you end up with a lot of content to watch back. Janelle for 5, spreading some love from one Southern biatch to another. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Kim Ruddy for 50, dropping some love. Thank you, Kim. 07's in the cat. Oh my God. 07's in the chat for Kim. Thank you. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Very awesome of you. I just want to say I have the best audience in YouTube. Thank you very much. I have the best audience. Just throwing it out there. Please do not 07 in the chat. Only the chat. Please. Snutzy, I don't know what you just said. I have no clue what you just said. I'm back after discovering you yesterday. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so put a 1 in the chat if you are ready to get started. Any other number, I'm going to ignore you. Just let you know. Oh, okay. I was wondering what you were saying, Snutzy. I was like, what? I was like, wait a minute. I just woke up like a couple hours ago, but I know I'm still not sleepy. That's it, Ursula. I'm ignoring you the rest of the time. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. Let's finish this.
Development.
Wait, again, I'm going to have it at 1.5 speed, and the closed captions will be on, so pay attention.
So after that absolutely wild bombshell, I was left sitting on a half-finished doc and a 6-hour interview with Johnny, where he basically admits to something just as disturbing as anything Colleen Ballinger has been accused of. And no, none of this absolves Colleen Ballinger. There's an intermingling here and also separate events.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I said yesterday, okay? Multiple people can be wrong about the same situation or different situations at the exact same time over the same situation. It's amazing how many people can be wrong. Even somebody who is wrong in the situation, somebody can lie on them, in which that isn't right, and that other person lying on them is also wrong. This story is so fucking twisted. Oh, Swoops beautiful.
I already knew that Johnny had lied to me before, but I had to ask, what else did Johnny lie about? Spoiler alert, pretty much everything Johnny Silvestri told me appears to be either a lie, half-truth, or a blatant exaggeration.
Yep.
Some of the shit that he told me wasn't even shit that happened to him, it was things that happened to Adam. And speaking of Adam, what is your understanding of what Johnny's allegations against Josh are?
Privately, no substance. I mean, I've asked, and the response has been like, almost as if like, why would you ask?
Yeah, exactly. He could never... The thing about Johnny, and in this video, and I mean, I may give you spoilers for what's going to happen or whatever, Johnny can never directly answer what Josh did to him. Well, he does, but he does it in a way he doesn't realize. He does actually give it away, but he doesn't realize what he's giving away. The Gaming Witch for 100. Holy shit, Gaming Witch. Damn. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Gaming Witch. 07's in the chat for Gaming Witch. Thank you so much. Johnny is the pick me that was never picked. Well, yeah. Thank you so much, Gaming Witch. That's very nice of you. All right, let's keep going.
That's all I know. I'm aware of him going on like every podcast saying that I don't know why people aren't talking about Josh because Josh is a worse scrimmer than Colleen and Josh is worse than Colleen and shut it from the rooftops. But whenever I've confronted it privately, I don't know the situation. Johnny will say that he's a worse abuser than Colleen, and I'm like, abuser? Worse? What happened?
The Velvet Finch 499. I've got no followers trauma. Grooming is so not what he thinks. Oh, God. Oh, you're not wrong. Thank you for the 499.
Here, and then it's like, oh, like, of course you already know, and I'm like, but I don't know anything. I was getting asked about it on my Twitch streams, and I didn't have a response to it, and why under God was I still following Josh if he's a worse abuser than Colleen? And I'm asking what happened, and it's like, why would you ask that? Like, of course he's worse than Colleen.
When I'm about to...
Yeah, but how, though? The thing is, if you're going to say someone is worse than Colleen, you better have reasons behind why you're saying that. At least give the reasons, because guess what? Adam has all these reasons on why Colleen was bad. Adam has all this proof on why Colleen is bad. Where's your proof, Josh? Where's your reasons? I mean, like I said, you gave reasons, but you didn't realize what reasons you were giving because you're an idiot. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. That's how I feel. I feel you're an idiot. All right? It is my own personal perception, and I am allowed that as a God-fearing Christian mingle lady. Anyway.
To play is what Johnny is actually alleging.
So he knew very little about me, but for whatever reason, he just really leached on and honed in on me. He says that he saw a lot of himself in me, which I don't, but maybe for him, there was some truth in that. So maybe it was kind of more of a mentorship perspective at first, but then he liked the attention he was getting out of it, and it turned into something more sinister. Because he himself says he's gotten abused. It doesn't automatically give you a free pass and make you a good person, because you acknowledge it now.
Notice how he said he liked the attention. Which I didn't write that down as one of my yellow highlighted words. Excuse me, I have to grab a yellow highlighter right now. Because all this builds up, okay? All of this builds up to my point of why this happened. All of it. All of my yellow highlighter marks builds up.
puts it, Joshua got close to Johnny, gave him his number, spent one-on-one time with him, befriended the family, and Johnny even says the word himself, sinister. And to be fair, it sounds sinister. But what's interesting to note is that everything Johnny describes is so very public and very much not isolating. Now, I didn't know just how public Johnny and Joshua's relationship or lack thereof was at the time I interviewed him, though, so I asked for more details. How many times had you interacted with Josh? I'm talking about before you met him in New York.
The interactions I had with him before were very minimal. I talked to Colleen more than anything.
Bro, the interactions I had with him were minimal. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. How the fuck did he groom you? And I know, and I'm gonna go ahead and just say it now, but believe me, you'll be there by the end. How the fuck did he groom you? He had minimal interactions with you. How? How? Yeah, minimal, but he was groomed, question mark? Like, again, with grooming, whether the sexual type, emotional type, whatever, okay, they, like Swoop said, they isolate you. Well, if they isolate you, they spend quite a bit of time isolating you to get you onto what they want to use you for, okay? But he spent minimal time with you. How? How does one get groomed that way? Makes no sense.
So he knew very little about me.
In 20...
And he knew little about you? Bro! Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Oh, Johnny, holy shit. Bro!
Well, we would primarily tiny chat with Colleen and Trent. Josh would pop in every once in a while, but he would only do it with Colleen.
Is it weird that adults were in these tiny chat conversations?
Yes.
It is. And again, it's like, well, Johnny has admitted to me that he himself has been an adult in group chats with minors for years, even after his employment with Colleen Ballinger ended, and he believed there was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with it when Johnny was doing it, but when everybody else was doing it and getting called out for it, well, let me ride that clout train and calling these people out for being in group chats or talking to minors, but FYI, I did it too. Dude, what? Blue says, what I don't get is the audacity of how you're going to tell lies like this about public figures, steal their stories, and expect no one to call you out on the internet. Blue, that is two perfectly good questions. Honestly. Two perfectly good questions.
Can you tell me about how many times you would estimate that you hung out with Josh in person?
Yes. Now, when I say hang out, I don't want people to have this perception like I was chilling in his living room. We would be in public places. He would be doing something, some show, and I was going as a supporter. He would say stuff to me like, come to California for my show. And I'd be like, are you serious? He'd be like, yeah, come on down. And I'd be like, whoa, sick. He would allude to things like that. Like, I'd be like, okay, I'll come to California. I'll come see your show. We should grab a coffee or something while I'm out there. And he'd be like, yeah, for sure.
Okay, hang on a second here.
How? Oh my god. Oh my god. Bro, you were a stan. You were a stan. Nah. You weren't even a fan. You were a stan. The worst of the worst. That's what you were. Who goes all the way to California for a car show? Unless you are a car enthusiast. Like, what?
Here, we've heard this story from Johnny like a few places. Johnny has claimed everywhere that Josh was inviting him to shows.
telling me I didn't understand boundaries. Because after New York, that was just the beginning of things. I started getting invited to shows. I tweeted him about his California show, and I was like, should I come? And he was like, yes, please do. And then I was like, okay.
Now, full disclosure, but Johnny Silvestri had admitted to me on record multiple times that he very recently wiped most of his old Twitter history away. I wonder why he did that. But as you'll see, there's a lot he didn't erase, like this conversation that Johnny has claimed was his invite to come to Joshua's show in California.
Because he's not a good liar. He's not, the game that Johnny is trying to play right now, he is not good at it. So Josh puts, it has been revealed. Josh says, all cool things happen in LA. It's official. I'm moving there next week. See you at the show. Just kidding, or am I? And Josh goes, please come. Bro.
So Joshua publicly announces a show on Twitter, and Johnny responds with, quote, all good things happen in LA. It's official. I'm moving there next week. See you at the show. Just kidding. Or am I? And Joshua responds with, please come. That's it. That's the entire interaction.
Bro, that's not asking you. An invite is literally someone asking you, hey, I'm doing a show next week. Do you want to come? You know, I'll give you tickets, or, you know, I would love to see you there. That's an invite. What he did wasn't an invite. You invited yourself. Just like in those DMs that you doctored for Swoop, you were always the one talking first. Matter of fact, you would even talk in those DMs and he wouldn't even answer you back. So if he wouldn't even answer you back in DMs, I don't see him actually coming out and go, hey, I'm doing the show. Would you like to come? Would you like to see? Would you like free tickets to come? I would love to see you there. I don't think that ever happened. Bro, who in the hell only has 20 chats between two people over years? Exactly. How is this grooming? Great question.
That is what Johnny is calling Joshua, inviting him out to California to come to his show. I actually love this interaction because if by Johnny's logic this is a direct invitation to a show, then by extension, I guess I was invited too. And I didn't even know it. And so were you, and you didn't even know it. So thanks, Joshua D-Town. And it's probably worth noting right here that Johnny literally says in the tweet, he's, quote, moving there next week. When you take the picture as a whole, with Joshua only ever responding to Johnny's fandom tweets and rarely, if ever, to his private messages, it is a possibility and quite likely that Joshua may have even believed Johnny was telling the truth about moving to California, because why would Johnny lie about something like moving across the country? Now, it's very important to start by noting that Johnny hasn't provided us with his texts after multiple requests to see if these conversations...
You're never gonna get them, because I bet you, I would almost put money on it. I bet you those texts are full of Johnny texting Josh and Josh not answering back. What? Chelsea, what? Chelsea says, Xylie, you are grooming me. You know what? By Johnny's logic, I just may be. I don't know, bro. Because his logic is all over the place about grooming. Not gonna lie. You know, by his logic, wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, how could you, Xylie? Oh, God.
Conversations continued over there. But Johnny has also said that they didn't really communicate there because he didn't want to abuse his access to Joshua's phone number.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you guys started texting, like on a one-on-one basis?
Not super regularly because I didn't want to abuse it. I didn't want to lose this privilege.
And remember, Johnny says that the relationship was mostly on Twitter publicly.
It was more so like Twitter-based. It was more of a public relationship.
Then how were you groomed? It was public. Oh, God. How were you groomed? It was public. Holy shit. Oh, my God. Holy shit.
Which makes me almost wonder if it was more performative than anything.
Now, if you remember, in one of his DMs to Joshua, Johnny invited himself to a show in Minnesota saying, quote, I was going to surprise you and show up to a show on Friday, but I didn't have an address for it, so surprise, I'm going. What's...
You know, Johnny, you always seem to just show up, don't you? You always seem to just show up somewhere. Never really invited. You just show up.
The address. And Joshua responded with the address and said, quote, "You're going, question mark, question mark? Woo!" Josh isn't the only one that Johnny has done this to. Johnny tweeted in reference to Colleen, quote, "She bailed on our plans super last minute one day and to make things better, invited me to New York to see her Broadway debut." But he attached a screenshot of text where Colleen mentions that she's doing a Broadway show. There's no invite there. And once again, Johnny invites himself saying, "It's a done deal. I have to come."
How do you make a tweet and then your attachments to that tweet show that you were lying in that tweet? This dude is so dumb.
Johnny has claimed to be 17 years old during this trip.
You know, just doing the damn thing since I was 17. It ain't no big deal.
This California show he's talking about was on May 20th, 2015. According to Johnny, his birthday is May 24th, 1996, which would make him 18. Well, to be exact, it would make him 4 days away from turning 19. Now, we are certain of this date because this was the first stop of a show known as the Shadows Tour, which was this kitschy boy band type project that Joshua Evans had with 2 other men that were husbands of more famous women. Like, get it, you know, from Out of the Shadows.
There was one instance where I had gone out for his show that he encouraged me to go to. I was having a lot of trouble getting a rental car. The 2.5 hours I spent at Hertz, I had called Josh, I had called Colleen, I texted each of them, "I'm stuck in LA, I need to be in Irvine tonight to see your show that you encouraged me to come to. Can somebody pick me up?"
Now, another thing that...
Bro. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. Hi, I invited myself to your show. I'm having a hard time getting the rental. I need you to come pick me up. Like, what? What? Exactly. Who's going to give a 17-year-old child a rent-a-car? That's a great question. But remember, guys, he was 17 at this point.
I'd like to point out is that in the state of California, you have to be at least 18 to rent a car as it's a legally binding contract, and you have to be an adult to enter a legally binding contract, which makes sense because Johnny was 18, about to turn 19, not 17, like he's about to claim.
Because there's a story about how I came out to him one night when I flew all the way out to California to see one of his shows, and I was only like 17.
And there's also a revelation in the story that Johnny also had Colleen Ballinger's phone number at this time, an interesting detail that Johnny had never previously divulged before.
But I had called Josh, I had called Colleen, I texted each of them.
And I find it odd how much he blasts Joshua for giving him his phone number, but never mentions Colleen doing it.
Because he's been doing that this whole damn time. He goes after Josh. It's Josh, 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 Josh. He'll blast Colleen just a little bit, but it's almost like he's protecting her at the same time. Pigeon Sally for 5. Hey, Johnny, why are you texting somebody that you said you had minimal contact with to pick you up? True. Because in 2013, he was 17. He was about to turn 19 in 2015. Yeah, you're right. Like, how is he 17 and 13, 14, and 15, but 27 in 2023? 100%. Thank you, Pigeon. Oh, and by the way, thank you, Pigeon, for the 5. He can't keep his lies straight. That's what's wrong with him. He can't keep his lies straight.
And this is years before he worked for her.
I had invited my friend at the time to go see the show with me. Improv at the Irvine Spectrum here in California. Colleen, Trisha Paytas, Jenna Marbles, Shane Dawson, all these like A-list YouTubers pile in and sit at a table right in front of us. And then she looks at me and she goes, "Oh my God, you made it. I was so worried about you." They were gonna go on and start this show. She was just gonna sit with Shane and Trish and have a fantastic night watching her hubby mope on stage about how he was stuck in her shadows while little Johnny was trapped over by LAX.
Now,
you're not their responsibility, bro. What? You're not their responsibility. They don't have to do shit for you. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm sticking up for Colleen Ballinger, but I mean it's true though. You're not her responsibility. The hell?
I'll also underscore that Los Angeles and Irvine are like an hour apart from each other one way. Could be 2 hours depending on the traffic. Johnny should know that because he lived in Orange County until last month. Like, I'm not sure why Johnny would have expected a performer to leave suddenly before their show to drive 2 to 4 hours round trip to pick up a fan. That would actually be inappropriate, especially since in the version of the story that Johnny tells, he's allegedly 17 years old. I mean, can you imagine if Joshua had gotten a car, drove and pick him up just one-on-one to him in a car? If that had actually happened, Johnny would be dragging him to high hell right now if he did that. But now Johnny's criticizing him for not doing that.
They were gonna go on and start this show while little Johnny was trapped over by LAX.
How are you, whether you're there or not, depend on the show? Bro, what? What? Oh my God.
Now, as the show was going on and Colleen left for the night, something happened that, in the grand story of Johnny Silvestri, is one of the main stories you may have heard before.
Josh was wrapping up his meet and greet. My friend and I went outside. Josh walks up to us, is like, I have to go inside and like grab stuff. Finally comes back, and that's the night that I told him, this was 2015, I'm gay. And he looked at me and said, well, that's none of my business.
Now, we're going to circle back to the coming out story in a bit, because obviously that is a...
Okay, do you notice how he says this? What? Huh?
Was going on and Colleen left for the night, something happened that, in the grand story of Johnny Silvestri, is one of the main stories you may have heard before.
Josh was wrapping up his meet and greet. My friend and I went outside. Josh walks up to us, is like, I have to go inside and like grab stuff. Finally comes back.
Finally comes back. He's so fucking entitled. He honestly believes the world should revolve around him.
And that's the night that I told him, this was 2015, I'm gay. And he looked at me and said, well, that's none of my business.
Exactly. It is none of his business. It's not. That's like people in my chat. I don't care if you're gay. Like, it's none of my business that you are. Like, I don't care if you are. All I care about is you not being a shit human being. I don't give a fuck about the rest. Yes, he has a God complex. 100%.
Now, we're going to circle back to the coming out story in a bit, because obviously that is a serious story for Johnny, but right now we need to clarify Johnny's age for a very important reason.
This was days before my birthday. I think days before my 18th birthday.
There it is. Days before my 18th birthday. That is an untruth, and he has repeated that in every telling of this story.
There's a story about how I came out to him one night and I was only like 17.
So here's Johnny confirming his birthday to me, May 24th, 1996. Here's Johnny's post about that show where he says he came out to Joshua. Look at the date, May 21st, 2015, 12:15 a.m. and 39 seconds, because I am a thorough bitch today, making him an almost 19-year-old legally adult man and not the child he has pretended to be in every other telling of this story.
I was 17 at the time. This is the trip that he told me
No, you were 18, 4 days away from 19. Uh-huh.
to go out there. I think I also mentioned to you guys that I was stuck at Hertz.
When he made you come to his show but didn't pay for your flight or your ticket?
Yes. And then I got stuck. I got stranded at the car rental place for hours and called both of them and left them voice messages as a 17-year-old all by himself.
Which they received.
The reason this age distinction is so important is because the way Johnny has told this story, it leads Lily and Jesse to say that Josh made him come to his show but didn't pay for his flight, which is factually incorrect. But here's where it actually gets sinister. If that accusation were to stand, that an adult man made a minor fly across state lines to see him, that is quite literally accusing Joshua of child trafficking.
Yep.
That's what makes these lies so dangerous.
Well, because you had mentioned...
Yep, exactly. If you have a child travel across state lines by themselves, it's not like the parents was taking the child to the show, okay? It's not like the parents, like, takes the child to Disney World or, you know, takes the child to go see their favorite artist or something, okay? But if you have a child cross state lines across the country as a minor to come see you, that's exactly what that is. That's trafficking. Something else to add to the list of things, huh?
that, like, because to rent a car you have to be 25, but that you had a loophole because you have a...
Yes, we had a loophole that the car rental place unfortunately did not realize.
There was no loophole for a 17-year-old in California to rent a car. Johnny was a legal adult.
No. Okay, look. Huh? I'm sorry. Blood sugar's going low. I had to eat something. Hold on. I'm sorry. No car rental place. I promise you. First of all, a lot of them don't even want to rent to an 18-year-old. I promise you, none of them is going to rent to a 17-year-old. I'm telling you now. Amber Chick says, as a parent, that's just sketchy to me to begin with. I'm pretty laid back parent. All these kids traveling to meet total weirdos wouldn't be mine, but I'll try not to judge. Yeah, no. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Now, let's get to the coming out story, starting with him telling his parents. Now, this is actually from his 18th birthday, and Johnny combines them to give the illusion that Joshua is even worse than Johnny made you think he was before.
I had gone home on May 24th, the morning of my birthday, sat at my kitchen table, wanted so badly to tell my parents, who were just so excited to see me. I was back home. I wanted to tell them more than anything, and I was scared.
I'm so sorry. Such a vulnerable position to be in, and it just makes me emotional even thinking about how difficult that must be. Now, this was obviously a very sensitive topic, and to make sure we weren't misinterpreting such a sensitive and sacred event, we found Johnny's public Facebook post where he described in detail how scared he was to come out to his parents. Sadly, this is a common fear people have for a myriad of reasons. It is heartbreaking, and I have no interest in questioning his fear of coming out to his family, none. I didn't want to include this at all, but as Johnny has referenced his coming out story multiple times across countless media platforms and attached it to accusations, it would be irresponsible of me to not at least mention it here. In reality, I was deeply troubled by the thought that Joshua could have discouraged him or anyone for coming out, so we had to investigate why Josh may have allegedly responded that way. When he was indicating to not talk to your parents, did he explain why he felt that way?
He was alluding that they were going to kick me out and disown me for being gay, because I grew up in a very Catholic, conservative household. Loosely, it's like traditional, if you will.
Do you think that he was trying to say it in a protective way, like, I don't want you to get hurt by your parents?
I don't know. He knew my parents, so like just insulted on their behalf as well. If it was a situation where he was...
Wait, he knew my parents? How well did he know your parents? Johnny, you say a bunch of shit that makes no sense. Johnny says a bunch of shit. Yeah, pigeon salad, I'm glad you said that, because I'm wondering too, what does loosely traditional mean? What does that mean? I mean, come on, man.
It was like, I don't know how to handle this. If he thought I had some crush on him, bold to assume you're attractive enough for me to have a crush on you, Mr. David Evans.
Bro. He's projecting here. He's telling on himself.
My parents, so like just insulted on their behalf as well. If it was a situation where he was like, I don't know how to handle this. If he thought I had some crush on him, bold to assume you're attractive enough for me to have a crush on you, Mr. David Evans.
Wow. Kind of telling on yourself there, Johnny. Kind of telling on yourself there, bucko.
And that's not even like bagging on him for his looks. He's clearly an attractive dude, but the personality is what does it for me, and he ain't got the one that I'm attracted to.
Now, I asked Joshua about his side of the coming out story. It's the fair thing to do here, which I will share with you later, but for right now, out of respect, I'm going to let this story live where it is, so we'll move on. Let's back up for a second, way back to that last Twitter DM from Johnny to Joshua, dated March 16th, 2015, that he staunchly refers to as the last time he ever spoke to Josh, period. He said Josh had groomed him and eventually ghosted him on this date.
My last DM to him was March 16th, 2015 at 6:22 p.m. And I said, hey, I need to talk to you ASAP. He did not respond to that, and then I think that was around the time the divorce was happening, so in hindsight, don't expect him to respond to that. Like, he's clearly going through real life shit. But that is the last interaction I ever had with this man.
This triggered a profound sense of confusion for me and my team, raising more questions than answers. First, the facts. Joshua and Colleen announced their split in September 2016, not March 2015. Joshua and Colleen didn't even get married until July 2nd, 2015. So this DM not only was not ignored by Joshua during their divorce, it was ignored by Joshua before they even got married. Now, I would suggest that Johnny could just be confused.
Johnny's so full of shit. Johnny is so... He is, there's something wrong with Johnny. There's something absolutely wrong with Johnny. Yeah, big old yikes, Mage. Big old yikes. Hold on. Pumpkin wants a potato chip. All right, hold on one second. Here. You want a potato chip? Here, come on. Right there. That's for you. Do you want it or not? I'm not going to hold it. There.
About the dates, except that this wasn't even the last message Joshua responded to. In fact, Joshua hadn't responded to a Twitter DM since January 30th, 2014, which is 1 year, 1 month, and 16 days prior. And there were many interactions between Johnny and Joshua after March 16th, 2015, including the very date we've been discussing, the Shadows show, May 20th, 2015, months later, where Johnny showed up to a show of Joshua's in California and came out to him while he was packing up and leaving. I don't know why he's been saying that was the last interaction they had. He literally flew across the country and met him in person. And it reminds me of something Joshua mentioned in his apology. I gave you the illusion that I could be that friend, which at the time I thought I could be, until I began to realize the amount of attachment.
Until I began to realize the amount of attachment that you were feeling. Okay, I'm going to put it this way. What I'm thinking, I think Swoop is thinking the same thing, but she's just not saying it. For professional reasons, I'm not a professional bitch, okay? I'm a live streaming react Andy, all right? I'm not professional, so I'll eventually say it. I just want to get through all the clues in which that gave it to me. Just saying.
You were feeling. And even though Johnny has deleted many tweets, there are still a ton of tweets after this date where they continued making casual comments to each other for over a year. And again, Johnny continued going to more of Colleen and Joshua's shows. So this statement,
that is the last interaction I ever had with this man,
is categorically false.
Stop.
I want to stress for a moment just how important it seems to be to Johnny that we all know the center of his grooming allegations against Joshua relates to the idea of ghosting. That Joshua David Evans ghosted a 20-year-old man named Jonathan Silvestri.
Ghosted. Remember that word too. That word is also highlighted.
This man, I literally felt like was an older brother to me. He just ghosted me. He went ghost.
We know that's not true. Johnny not only flew to see Joshua around 2 months after that message, and as far as we can tell, their last public Twitter interaction was in August 2016. Johnny had tweeted to Josh, and Josh replied, and I should note that Johnny has since deleted his tweet. Now, Johnny has continually left out the actual context of what was happening when he was, quote, ghosted in late 2016. So here's that context. In 2016, Colleen and Joshua were going through a brutal public divorce that left Joshua, as he's put it, devastated and with nothing. And the fandom attacked him mercilessly.
Fought a lot of battles for her, got way too involved in their divorce. All of us did. All of us fans did. And you'll see tweets about that.
Now, we asked Adam about Johnny's involvement in that.
He loves to spread this online where he says about, I was equally on Josh's side. Johnny was one of the main people coming for Josh behind the scenes as well, and I know that for a fact. So it's so weird to me, this like thing he plays of, I was on both sides, and Josh messed around with me, and that's why I turned against him and stuff.
I was gonna, fight for both of them and try to remain a loyal supporter to...
You're such a liar. Shut up. You are such a damn liar. Your whole damn story is like... Dude, it's like somebody peppered it with a shotgun or something. Because you got so many holes in your story, you're not good at this. And you obviously, for someone who wants to be a YouTuber so bad, you obviously don't understand how YouTube works and how people look into things. And I swear to God, you've never seen a Swoop video. Because you were dumb to take in that, that conversation with her. Because you should have known she was going to catch you. Like, seriously. Good God.
Both of them, because I truly did care about both of them.
No, like the way we all acknowledge that we all did turn on Josh, Johnny was one of the main people as well that did that, if not more so because he had this personal connection to Colleen and him saying, I was playing both sides because I, love them both and stuff. I'm sorry, but to a certain level, that is just bullshit.
Now, Joshua has also shared that he was heavily battling the disease of addiction, was suicidal, and was trying to drink himself to death.
Don't go and throw negative stuff at Colleen. I love her. I'm in love with her. I wish nothing but success and happiness for her. And that just does not involve me anymore.
And for years after that, Joshua isolated himself and stepped away from social media, all while Colleen Ballinger was working behind the scenes to weaponize the entire fandom against him, including Johnny.
Yeah, because that's what she did.
I love you guys, and I hope I'll come back. I really want to come back. I just can't be here now. I gotta go find some kind of peace.
And for the next 7 years, Johnny chose Colleen.
And so now we're all besties and we can all trauma bond over that piece of shit.
Now, not only is that the wrong use of the phrase trauma bond, but Johnny doesn't distinguish that not even a month after Josh, his friend's divorce, went public, Johnny posted a resignation letter on the Sarah Ridiculous account heavily shading Joshua. Now, for those who don't know, and this is some necessary context, Sarah Ridiculous is a character created by Josh that, to put it simply, is kind of like a blonde bimbo booze hound type character that's basically Josh Evans dressed in drag. Yeah, super cringe. Now, Johnny Silvestri took it upon himself to run a Sarah Ridiculous fan account in 2013, and at this time, Josh was thinking of starting his own character account, much like how Colleen Ballinger had started the Miranda Sings account. So Joshua reached out to the fan who he believed was running the account to ask them if they wanted to run the official Sarah Ridiculous account, which was created in the same month. Now, that person told Josh that Johnny was actually the one running the fan account, and since Josh had Johnny's number, he texted. I don't know who started the text, but there were texts asking Johnny if he would like to run his account.
The only text message that Josh will show. Funny how Josh pulls that one up, though, right? The longer this man talks, it's amazing Swoop handled a 6-hour interview. You know what, Claude? I don't know how Swoop did it. I really do not understand how Swoop did it. There is no way I would have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to do it. Especially certain points, like when you get to the coffee date part. Holy shit. I don't know how she did it. I really don't know how she did it. Yes, she has the patience of the saint. Good God.
Account, which led to Johnny running the account for about 3 years.
The account, but I hacked it when I was drunk a few years ago and made it. And I made the profile picture Charlie XCX with big boobs.
Period.
Now, Johnny has very publicly used this ridiculous story as a way to try to compare his story to Adam's, who you might remember was entrusted with running the successful Miranda Sings Twitter account with a direct promise from Colleen of eventual financial compensation. But even though both Adam and Johnny were creating content for Twitter accounts, there is a mountain of differences between their stories.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between their stories. First of all, Adam was actually a minor. Okay? Johnny has to use everybody else's story to try to validate his. Whereas Adam and everyone else who has their stories, you know, Oliver and the rest, they also have proof from their stories. Where's your proof, Johnny? Where's your proof, Johnny? You still haven't shown any proof. Where's your proof, Johnny?
For starters, Colleen baited Adam for content with the promise of an actual paid job. Joshua literally gave the account over to Johnny with no talk of compensation at all because Joshua didn't seem to give a shit about the account. And unlike Adam, Johnny has claimed that any guidance he received running this account was minimal at best. He has never claimed that he had to run any tweets past Joshua before posting. Now, even in that screenshot, Joshua gave him free reign to post whenever he wanted. And if you scroll a little further down, you might notice a letter from October 2016 signed by a familiar name. It says, quote, "Hey everyone, I just wanted to post this note to let you all know that I won't be tweeting from this account any longer. Josh asked me to help him run the account back in 2013, and I've been in charge of running the tweets, tweeting them, and maintaining the account ever since. I just don't feel right about coming up with all the content, jokes, tweets, etc. without getting any credit, so I'm stepping away. Hope you understand, Johnny Silvestri." And then it links Johnny's Twitter and YouTube accounts.
I eventually wrote when he just totally dumped me. I wrote a
Did you hear what he just said? Let's go back and hear what he just said.
Johnny's Twitter and YouTube accounts.
I eventually wrote when he just totally dumped me.
He dumped me. He dumped me. Remember that word. That's also a yellow highlighted word. Thank you very much. Keep going.
And I wrote a statement on that Twitter account and just said, I don't feel comfortable running this account anymore for someone who has completely written me off.
Now, a 20-year-old man, Johnny Silvestri, posted this resignation 1 month after the divorce. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me check the notes really quick. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Colleen Ballinger released her divorce announcement on September 30th, 2016. Johnny, a 20-year-old man, released his pissy resignation statement on October 4th, 2016. It wasn't 1 month after the divorce, it was 4 days.
4 days after the divorce, not a month. Johnny has no concept of time, all right? Which, okay, look, I'll give him this, all right? I understand not having a concept of time either, because especially like with being on the internet now and everything, something could have happened last week and it feels like it was a month ago. Or something could have happened 2 days ago and I'm thinking it was last week. All right, so I get it. But bro, if you're coming down with heavy accusations and you're coming down with a story like this, you need to have your dates in order. You need to go back and, I don't know, write it down or something where you know exact dates. So when you tell the story, if you're not lying like Johnny, so when you're telling the story, you know exactly what you're saying and it's the truth. That way, when somebody like Swoop comes around, they can look at it and go, verified, he's telling the truth. Verified, he's telling the truth. No, instead, Swoop had to go, he lied. He lied. Oh, he lied again. Okay, this kid's a liar. And when I say kid, I mean just because he's in his 20s, he's a grown-ass fucking man. He's lying. Like he's a kid.
4 days. 4 fucking days after the divorce.
Johnny was one of the main people coming for Josh behind the scenes as well, and I know that for a fact.
Johnny would like everyone to believe that he was trying to be there for his friend during what Joshua has characterized as the darkest time of his life.
He just ghosted me. He went ghost.
He dumped me, and he just ghosted me. Doesn't that kind of sound like a Taylor Swift song? he dumped me and he ghosted me. It sounds like a Taylor Swift song. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just, you know. I mean, just saying.
I think I even tried to text him and say, did I upset you? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were really there for your suicidal friend in those 4 days, right, John?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I know I get a little heated at times during this, but it has been a long couple of months.
Oh, girl, you don't get heated like me. Your heated is still classy, all right? You're classy heated, I'm trashy heated, all right? Just saying. And because I'm on YouTube, I can only go but so far with my trashy heated, all right? Just saying.
Dealing with this. So I'm just going to say this. I personally have been in the trenches of being a suicidal. I had a plan, I had a method, and I had a date. Find yourself at a place where you legitimately don't care about living.
True.
One thing you can't come back from. It is the darkest, most sinister, most soul-crushing pit of despair and pain unlike anything else on the planet. I don't care what transpires between 2 people.
Hold on. Let's go back to see what he said about that. Hold on.
Everyone to believe that he was trying to be there for his friend during what Joshua has characterized as the darkest time of his life.
He just ghosted me. He went ghost. I think I even tried to text him and say, did I upset you? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were really there for your suicidal friend in those 4 days, right, John? I'm sorry, I know I get a little heated at times during this, but I just...
Like, how are you so loving towards your friend, and I was trying to be there for him for 4 days? You were trying to be there for him for 4 whole ass days. Not 4 weeks, not 4 months, but 4 whole ass days.
It has been a long couple of months dealing with it. So I'm just going to say
stripes.
this. I personally have
Very.
been in the trenches of being a suicidal. I had a plan, I had a method, and I had a date. Find yourself at a place where you legitimately don't care about living.
Yep.
One thing you can't come back from. It is the darkest, most sinister, most soul-crushing pit of despair and pain unlike anything else on the planet. I don't care what transpires between 2 people. If one of them genuinely wants to die, and you're mad they didn't tweet you back, I have to ask, where is your f***ing humanity?
He doesn't have any. Johnny doesn't care about anybody but himself. Johnny does not care about anybody but himself. He doesn't have any. Not the way he's acting. No, he has no empathy at all. None whatsoever, Zoe. You're 100% correct.
Johnny, I pray to God you never come anywhere close to experiencing the agony of legitimately not wanting to live anymore. I genuinely just want you to get help and stop treating people like this. It's not okay. Moving on.
Oh, this birthday video is such a... Oh, God.
When Johnny got home after this trip, it was on his birthday, to which Johnny says his gift was the infamous birthday video that Johnny posted on Twitter. And then in the comments, he called Joshua Evans a predator for making the video.
What's up, Johnny? Happy birthday, man. Today's a big day for you, and I just wanted to make you a little video to let you know that I was thinking about you on your birthday. I believe in you. I'm proud of you.
That was part of a compilation of all my personal family friends, and like Trent partook. They told me now that they had asked him if he would do it, and he said yes, absolutely, and then they had to hound him.
Then how is that grooming? Again, how is that grooming?
And be like, dude, you said you'd make the video, like, come on. Like,
How is that video predatory? Like, how?
Like, you're the only person we're waiting on. You're not Beyonce. Get on your phone and just say, hey, Johnny, happy birthday. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. You said you do it.
Joshua did not make this video unprovoked. Per Johnny's own words, Johnny's family had to hound Joshua to make it. To make a birthday video for Johnny that...
So how is it predatory? If his family asked for that video to be made, how is it predatory? That's no different than, say your daughter's birthday is coming up and you go, what's that one site that you can go to where like famous people, you can pay for them to make a video for somebody? It's the same shit. It's not predatory. I don't think you know what, Portia, I don't think he understands what grooming is, predatory. I don't think he understands any of those terms. Cameo. Thank you, Cameo. It's just like going to Cameo and paying somebody $50 to send a video to someone going, hey, this is, I don't know, Peter Mon. Hey, this is Peter Mon, Xylie, and I just want to wish you a happy birthday. It's not predatory. Yes, he just be saying shit. 100% Anon. He just be saying shit. Yes, that's exactly the problem with this whole fucking story. He just be saying shit. True, Sakura. If he does understand those terms, he is grossly misusing them. 1000%.
Johnny has now weaponized online, calling Joshua a for making that video that they pressured him to make.
You're not Beyonce. Get on your phone and just say, hey, Johnny, happy birthday.
In fact, this isn't the first time Johnny's family hounded Joshua. His family has done this multiple times. The year before, on Johnny's 17th birthday, Johnny's sister DM'd Joshua saying, quote, hey, Josh, wanted to let you know Johnny's B-Day is Friday, May 24th. Make sure to...
Oh, and you know what's funny? She's got this DM. Johnny's birthday is May 24th, 2013. Okay, so when we do some... So we're all gonna sit back, all right, guys, and we're gonna concentrate really hard, and we're gonna become math magicians, okay? And as math magicians, we are going to see that it is now the year 2023. What is 2023 minus 2013? What do you end up with? 10, right? 2013 from 2023 is 10. So that's 10 years ago. That would have been 17. Because he is 27 today. So, Johnny, in 2015, how were you 17? It's amazing to me that Johnny has literally given all the questions or all the answers to the questions. The only thing he has not answered is why. I love math magic. I love math magic. It's amazing. It's amazing the truths that you can find by doing a little algebra, a little bit of geometry, or even simple subtraction or addition. Just saying.
To show him some love. It literally wasn't even a request. It was a command. Details and context matters when you were calling people a
Bro, this part here. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all know now. This part here drove me insane. No, wait, it's not this part. It's the next part. It's the next part. But this one drove me insane too. Okay? This whole video drove me insane. But these two parts, I wanted to punch my desk. What's up, Leon?
I'm sorry to everyone watching this that I now have to do this, but I need to present the definition of the word alone. Alone. Having no one else present. Early on in the interview, Johnny said the following.
He's made comments like, me and him haven't hung out alone. Bullshit.
So later on, I wanted to get more insight into the time they spent alone, and I asked Johnny the following. Did you ever hang out with Josh just one-on-one, alone with Josh? Per Johnny's own recollection to me, in fact, he only ever remembers spending any time alone with Joshua twice.
I can at least count on 2 separate occasions. There was the one where we had our little coffee date.
Okay, before we get into the story, I want y'all to notice what he said.
Twice.
I can at least count on 2 separate occasions. There was the one where we had our little coffee date.
Coffee date. Date. Yes, he said date. All right, so we're going to put a little yellow highlighter mark on that one too, okay? So let's get back to the story. I just wanted y'all to hear the word, okay?
Twice.
I can at least count on 2 separate occasions. There was the one where we had our little coffee date at Starbucks when I went to the auto show to visit him. That was just me and him.
But it wasn't alone. The first instance was at a Starbucks inside the convention center at the auto show that Johnny popped up at in public, surrounded by hundreds if not thousands of people while Joshua was on a lunch break.
Public. Okay. If you're having one-on-one time, okay, you can still have one-on-one time with someone like on a date or something like that, in the public, all right? But it's not like intimate one-on-one time unless it's the two of you. You never spent alone time. It is not alone time if there are other people around. Alone time is you and someone else in a location where no one else is around. No one else can see you. That is alone time. You know what I'm saying? That is alone time.
At his job. The other instance was a year later at a show where Johnny again admits he surprised Joshua by traveling for hours and showing up in Wisconsin.
There was also a time he was doing a show.
Now, okay. Hold on,
He surprised Joshua by traveling for hours and showing up in Wisconsin.
There was also a time he was doing a show in Wisconsin. He was in a band called the Cat's Pajamas. So I surprised him.
Even the
You what? What did you do?
He was doing a show in Wisconsin. He was in a band called the Cat's Pajamas. So I surprised him.
You surprised him. Okay. So far, okay, hold on. I gotta write this note. Okay. So far, we have you surprised him. Okay. Y'all had a coffee date. He dumped you. Hold on, going through my other notes. He ghosted you. He liked the attention from you. Okay. Oh, wait. We're not done. We're not done. Hold on. I'm flipping pages. Give me a second. Wait a minute. I have another yellow highlight mode. He was supposed to take you with him. Wait a minute. And in the apology from Josh, he noted about your attachment to him. Okay, so far we have surprised him, coffee date, dumped me, ghosted you, he liked the attention. He was supposed to take you with him, and Josh even noted the attachment you had with him in his first apology to you. I'm telling you, we're going to have a Taylor Swift song by the end of this video. We're going to have a Taylor Swift song by the end of this video. All right, let's keep going.
Even the Irvine Shadows tour story happened not only in public, but with Johnny's best friend and accused groomer Tim Connolly by his side. Every other photo Johnny has shared of himself with Joshua is either from a meet and greet where they would have like a few minutes to chat, or from running into him at a show that he surprised him at. Now, if you want to be technical, it appears Jonathan Silvestri has never actually been alone with Joshua David Evans, the man he's accused of grooming him.
Now, let me ask you, if he never spent time actually alone, and he didn't spend a significant amount of time even on the internet alone, like in DMs or like texting, how in the fuck did he groom you? Exactly, Egg. Where was the grooming? Where? How did he groom you? How? I need to know how. How did he groom you? Exactly, Anon. They've never been alone. Oh, okay. This is where I had to make that tweet. Because that tweet, oh God, this part pissed me off so bad. All right, let's go.
Now, while reviewing my interview with Johnny and his statements in other interviews, he continually referenced times that he hung out with Josh, most often citing a coffee date, Josh having dinner with his family, and times they made content for their channels. The way Johnny tells these stories makes it sound like there were many instances of them hanging out spread over a long period of time. In reality, his stories about this coffee date and there was a dinner with the family, those all happened in the same couple of days where Johnny and his family showed up and surprised Joshua at the auto show he was working at. So they showed up at his place of work while he was working. Johnny referred to it as a coffee date, which was actually...
Well, let me ask you something. you go surprise at work to go out and have coffee and dinner when they're on their break? Who do you do that to? Yeah, Adam, you can see it in Adam's face. He's like, oh God, cringe. But who do you do that to? Who do you go surprise at work so y'all can go on a coffee date or go grab some lunch? Yeah, I think y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. Let's go.
He showed up. Joshua was like, let's get a coffee here in the convention center with hundreds, if not thousands of people also present. And the dinner that they had was the family saying, hey, you're working the auto show. Do you want to come over for a couple of hours for dinner?
This is like so, I actually have no words, because to think that that is what the defenders have been defending. Like, the picture has been that Josh is a creep who's like showing up at the door of Johnny, watching step to step. And that was why we should be listening to the Josh thing more than the Colleen thing. And this isn't a competition on who we should be listening to more, but the fact that like, that is what.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the trauma Olympics, and Johnny is literally trying to make this the trauma Olympics. And the sad thing is, he's trying to make it the trauma Olympics with no trauma. I'm sorry. I personally, it is how I feel, and I am allowed that. I don't think Johnny has any trauma at all. None. Zero. Zip. I don't even think he would know what trauma is.
So the Silvestri family made a trip back in 2012 to go to see a Colleen Ballinger show in New York. And now the whole Silvestri family goes to the Chicago Auto Show to see Joshua, who was working for a car company. They came to his place of work, then invited him to dinner. Let me also point out that at that dinner with Josh and Johnny's family, Johnny told me that he and his parents were razzling Joshua over why he had not yet proposed to Colleen.
Me and my family, even the night we had dinner, my parents were just razzling him a little bit, and they were like, so when are you gonna put a ring on it? And he was like, soon, I promise, I just want to be the main breadwinner, and da-da-da-da-da. And me and my parents and my sister were kind of like, do you know who you're marrying? Like she's like in her prime right now on YouTube, and no offense, dude, but you're selling cars at the Chicago Auto Show.
Firstly, I can't underscore how inappropriate it is to pressure anyone to make a life-altering decision like a marriage proposal, especially when it comes to a relationship that you know nothing about. And Johnny, you knew nothing about that relationship because you were not in it. Johnny is very aware now that Joshua has said he was domestically abused in his relationship with Colleen, yet Johnny felt it important to drag him in our interview for not proposing to Colleen, his alleged abuser, soon enough. You were a grown man in an abusive relationship and you stayed in it. And follows it up to my face, soon enough. You were a grown man in an abusive...
Okay, so, as a DV survivor myself, Queen for 2, I'm glad I found your channel, you rock. Thank you, Queen, I appreciate it. As a DV survivor myself, okay, Johnny can kick rocks with this statement because he obviously does not know the reason why people stay in situations that they honestly don't want to be in, but he doesn't understand the mindset of why they are still there. He doesn't understand that concept. Again, Johnny does not give a fuck about anybody but himself. Yes, kick rocks in a flip-flop. Period, point blank, period. He does not understand the mental anguish you go through. He can kiss my ass. Just saying.
Relationship and you stayed in it, and follows it up to my face by saying this.
He actively chose to remain in this relationship. He had so many outs. He didn't propose for like 9 years. Why did you enter a marriage that was so toxic if you knew it was so bad? You must have wanted something out of it, and it bit you in the ass. He fucked around and found out. And
the simple fact that he literally said you fucked around and find out. Well, guess what's happening to you now, Johnny? You fucked around and you're finding out. How does it feel, Johnny? How does it feel? Does it feel good to fuck around and find out, Johnny? Because that's exactly what's happening to you. What you should do is fuck around, find out, and message me at Xylie Gets Real on Twitter so we can have a conversation. Fuck around and find out, Johnny, please. I want you to fuck around and find out so you can have a conversation with me. That would be amazing.
Now he's just upset about it.
Johnny not only shamed Joshua for not proposing to Colleen soon enough, but he also shamed him for not leaving soon enough, stating that an alleged domestic survivor, quote, f***ed around and found out. And he said that for the entire world to see, for anyone like you out there who has survived abuse. And
TJ for $9.99. I came to you after watching Swoops vid. The conclusion I came to is that Johnny is actively the ringleader, bully, master manipulator, and a groomer. He's just another Amber Heard in disguise. Thank you, TJ, for the, I want to say it's $9.99. Yes, thank you for the $9.99. I appreciate it.
I know that you're out there, and I'm so sorry you have to hear disgusting words like his. And he said that to my face, knowing that I'm a survivor of DV. So sorry, fellow survivors, but according to Jonathan Silvestri, I guess we all f***ed around and found out.
At this point, I don't care that he was a victim, because we're not talking about that story anymore.
Oh my God, fuck you, bro. Fuck you. Woo! Swoop is a better woman than I am. Swoop is a better woman than I am. Oh my God. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I absolutely would not have been able to do that. I would not. Nope. Couldn't have done it. Couldn't have done it. There is no way I could have done it. TJ for $4.99. If it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then it's probably a duck. Yup. And same thing goes for liars. Amber Chick, the shit you get us into, Xylie. I do. I take y'all on some bad field trips, don't I? All right, let's keep going.
If he wanted to talk about that story, he had every opportunity in 2016.
I'm not even going to waste my breath explaining how absolutely...
Okay, first of all, who the fuck are you to tell somebody when they can tell their story? If they wanted to wait until they are on their fucking deathbed at the age of 102, they're allowed to tell their fucking story or whatever happened to them 60 years prior or whatever. Okay? Who the fuck are you to say when somebody's allowed to say their story? Like, literally. Fuck off. Fuck off. God. Oh. At Xylie Gets Real on Twitter. DM me, Johnny. I want to talk to you. I have a lot of questions, Johnny.
Disgusting it is to shame a survivor that you acknowledged is a victim for both not marrying their alleged abuser soon enough and for not getting out of the abusive relationship soon enough. And that you would say you don't care that he's a victim because we're not talking about that story anymore. He had his chance to tell his story in 2016, literally saying that a survivor of DV has a timestamp on when they're allowed to talk about their story and that this survivor's time to share his has passed by, so he should just...
Well, then you know what, Johnny? By proxy, you're not allowed to talk about your story then. If you want to go by those rules... Johnny, if you want to go by those rules, well then you should have talked about what happened to you back then. You don't have the right to talk about it now, according to you. Chelsea 499. Johnny says Josh must have wanted something because he only understands transactional relationships. That's funny. That's Johnny projecting. That's Johnny projecting. But according to your rules, Johnny, you're not allowed to talk about what you are trying to talk about. Just saying.
Shut up. Like, hey, Johnny, didn't your story of ghosting happen in 2016? You didn't talk about it then, so I guess your clock is up, John. I'm sorry I'm getting heated, but if being ghosted somehow equates to surviving DV, again, he said that to my face, knowing I'm a survivor, this goes against everything that I stand for. You've heard me say a million times, if you're a survivor, you are valid. And if you choose to tell your story, and you don't have to, but if you do, it's on your time and your time alone. I am f***ing livid about this. No one gets to gatekeep when a DV survivor shares their story, and Johnny Silvestri came on my platform to tell all of you, this community of survivors who I hold sacred, that you're not allowed to tell your story if you waited too long, because his story is more important than anyone else's. He tried to use me to platform that bullshit. F that. Off with all of that. And again, I'm sorry for my emotion right now. But I'm here to tell all of you who have survived the darkness of abuse, assault, shame, isolation, that you are legends.
True! True! We are. Damn it.
Among us, and you can share your story whenever you damn well please, period. But I won't waste my breath saying that. Instead, I'll just use Johnny's word to describe Johnny. Sinister.
Turned into something more sinister.
And on top of that, John then belittles Joshua working for an auto show, the very show that he and his family showed up at to be supportive, and insinuated that Joshua should propose to Colleen, Josh's alleged abuser, because she's a celebrity that he should lock down since he's just a car salesman.
Do you know who you're marrying? Like she's like in her prime right now on YouTube, and no offense, dude, but you're selling cars.
Johnny, you wish you were him at that car show. Like what? Like to this day, you wish you could get a gig like that. But you can't. Why, Johnny? Because you know, deep down inside, you're a nobody. And it deeply hurts you that you know that we all know you're a nobody. You could get off the internet today and no one would care. No one. And quite honestly, those who would care were dumb enough to fall for your shit. And you know that. And that bothers you. Just saying.
At the Chicago Auto Show.
Now, I shared all of this as well as one other thing that Johnny said to Adam. And he also said, I don't care that Joshua is a victim. He had his chance to tell his story in 2016. We're not talking about it anymore.
Give me a moment. Jesus. I think it's incredibly ironic that Johnny hones in on the fact that you had your chance to speak. First of all, putting aside how victim blamey that is and how, you know, apparently you can only be a victim a year after it happens, whatever, putting that aside, right? I think it's incredibly ironic for Johnny to say you had your chance to speak up in 2016, considering Johnny was one of the main people bullying Josh into silence. He could.
Funny how that worked. But, you know, Johnny's not going to talk about how he bullied. You know, he likes to paint it that he was trying to help both sides.
Couldn't have spoken up in 2016, couldn't have 2017, 18, 19, 20. Look what happened to me in 2020, and I wasn't her husband. I was just, by her and her fans, a crazy fan. Could you imagine being the crazy ex-husband? There was not a world in which he could speak up, and for Johnny to use that terminology against him is incredibly ironic, because I will bet you something now. If some person had used that against Johnny, we would not hear the end of it on Twitter. And I cannot believe that he said that about someone. I honestly cannot believe it.
It's gross.
Here's the truth. We got over an hour and a half into our conversation, and Johnny hadn't made any concrete allegations against Joshua David Evans, except that he was a predator and sinister. I was trying to give him time while also needing a more solid answer to work with if my team was going to investigate on his behalf.
He doesn't have an answer. Johnny does not have an answer. Because it didn't happen. I'm saying it now. He was not groomed. I'm just going to go ahead and flat out say it. I do not believe that man was groomed. I believe he is lying. Lying so bad he can't even keep up with his lies, because depends on who he talks to, depends on how the story goes. He is lying.
Now, full transparency, I had to ask Johnny respectfully at least 3 times in the 6-hour interview if he would explain exactly, if he would please just explain exactly how he was allegedly groomed by Joshua David Evans. I don't like having to ask anyone this, and I even asked Johnny multiple times if I had his consent to ask these tough questions. The questions may not always feel comfortable, and just know that I am not here to make you feel overwhelmed in any way. If you need to take a break, or if there's something that you're like, you know what, I'm done with that question, move on, just let me know, and I will move kind of according to you. I would like to begin to shift into Joshua Evans. His first answer went on a 10-minute tangent that ventured into Trent, Colleen, and Corey, 2 of whom Johnny directly told me did not groom him, so I asked Johnny to explain for a quicker soundbite. You have obviously said that you believe that Josh groomed you.
Yes.
Can you just give me a summary of exactly what Josh did that has made you feel that way?
Okay, now, that question is as direct of a question as you can get on what did he do to groom you? That is like one of the most direct ways you can ask, but still being respectful. Okay? being very respectful, and I'm here for you. If you're a victim, I wanna champion for you. It is the perfect question. This motherfucker can't answer it.
Josh has an ego, a massive one, and it's one that I can pinpoint and address, not even knowing the dude on a personal level to this day. He took the power that he had over me. Pinpoint and address, not even knowing the dude on a personal level.
Not knowing the dude on a personal level? Then you weren't groomed. Because guess how groomers work? You get to know them on a personal level, which makes you feel like you know them and you can trust them. That's part of the grooming tactic, whether it's emotional, whether it's sexual, any type of grooming. You get to know them personally. Because that's what makes you trust them. Ginger, I'm starting to think the same thing. This guy ate too much glue as a kid. Probably did. He probably had bottles of Elmer's in his room as a kid. Bottles. Just bottles.
To this day, he took the power that he had over me, and it turned into this God complex where I think to this day, he has this skewed idea that he was being a mentor. He was a dude pushing 30 who leached onto a vulnerable kid when he was in town. We did the Harlem Shake video. We filmed a little goofy, stupid video for my channel. There was a contest he did once. There were like maybe 8 of us who submitted videos. I won, and my prize was a ball of duct tape.
Did any of that explain grooming at all? But you know what did do? Projected on what he is. Funny that you asked that, Billy Joe. Watch.
It's just the little things if you look at them and see the patterns.
So to recap Johnny's answer as to exactly how Joshua allegedly groomed him, he said, Josh has an ego, a God complex. He thought he was a mentor. He was pushing 30 and leached. They created unoriginal trending Harlem Shake content at the auto show his whole family showed up at, and that Johnny entered a contest for a ball of duct tape and won a ball of duct tape that he still has. I gently asked him multiple times and tried to get a concise answer. Here's what he said, and I will sprinkle in the additional context that was left out. Again, if you could. I'm sorry for asking a second time.
No,
I just want to kind of nail down exactly specifically what you think were the kind of the exact things that Josh did that leave you feeling like you were groomed.
Yeah, so first and foremost, giving a 16-year-old your phone number unprovoked.
Full context that we know, Johnny had mentioned to Josh that he was depressed around this time. Joshua said he would mentor Johnny, and Josh gave his phone number in front of Johnny's parents while Johnny was networking. Johnny showed the number to his parents, and they were excited that maybe he was getting his big break. They literally said, our kid's doing the damn thing.
Okay, so, Scala for 2. Johnny, your mother misses the person you were. Oh my God. Okay, so, the phone number thing. Should have Josh given a 16-year-old Johnny the phone number? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. However, okay, and this is a big however, all right, and I think it's a very important however. The parents were there, and the parents were okay with it. It's not like he slipped him a little note when nobody could see and go, psst, psst, here's my phone number, call me later. No, he did it in front of the parents, and the parents were okay with it. That is a big however. It's not like he slipped it on the side. He did it in front of the parents, and the parents were actually happy about it. And apparently the parents were okay about it because if the parents were asking him to do birthday videos, they were fine with it. So really, whose ball does that court go into? I'm not parent shaming, but you have a minor who's 16, the adult who gave the minor the the phone number, and then you have the adults who are okay with it. It sounded like to me, if anybody needs to be pointing anything, is all the adults in the situation. Because at 16, that's not on you. It's on all the adults in the situation. The one who gave the phone number and the ones that were okay with it.
Our kid's doing the damn thing.
He continues.
Hanging out with the person one-on-one.
The instances they hung out were always in public and most often when Johnny's family members were with him, and the remaining time when Johnny was an adult.
Having conversations about our personal lives, getting to know me on an intimate level.
Yellow highlighter moment. Yellow highlighter moment.
Remaining time when Johnny was an adult.
Having conversations about our personal lives, getting to know me on an intimate level.
And the remaining time when Johnny was an adult.
Having conversations about our personal lives, getting to know me on an intimate level.
Getting to know me on an intimate level. Yellow highlighter moment. Miss Stripes for 5. The duct tape ball is in their court, literally. Okay, Miss Stripes. Thank you for the 5.
Well, fast forwarding to today, I feel more confident to say I was groomed.
If there were conversations about their personal lives on an intimate level, Johnny has not shared these with me or seemingly anybody. If there is more, I wasn't able to get it in the 6-hour interview. This man repeatedly told all of you who asked him to explain how he was groomed. He always deflected by tweeting things like, "I don't have to explain myself again, listen to Swoop." Well, thanks for listening to what Johnny said in that instance, because hi, Swoop here. I think this man is full of shit and a victim blamer.
Period.
Allegedly. After Johnny told me before about how Josh having a big ego meant he was a groomer, I decided to give Johnny another moment to get back on track, and I asked him, but not everyone understands that grooming doesn't always have a sexual component to it or a sexual kind of end goal, that it can have different attempts at what it's leading towards. What do you think that Josh was grooming you for?
The most disturbing part, you would think it would be super disturbing if it was sexual, but that would just be pretty cut and dry. But never once did I ever feel like these.
No. Sexual would be very fucking disturbing, you idiot. You are such a fucking idiot. You are dumb, sir. Listen to what he just said.
I think it would be super disturbing if it.
Grooming you for.
The most disturbing part, you would think it would be super disturbing if it was sexual, but that would.
It would be super disturbing if it was sexual. It would be, actually, sir.
Just be pretty cut and dry. But never once did I ever feel like these people wanted to come on to me sexually, any intent to exploit me in any ways. No.
Yeah, so maybe this is a good time to address another issue I face with Johnny Silvestri. He used my own quote about how not all grooming is sexual to make the point that to him, his non-sexual grooming is worse. Johnny was made very aware on multiple occasions that as a child, I was groomed and repeatedly sexually abused for years.
The most disturbing part, you would think it would be super disturbing if it was sexual, but that would just be pretty cut and dry. People don't quite understand what grooming is, which is why I appreciate.
You don't understand what grooming is. Oh my God. I cannot with this dude, yo.
Appreciated your breakdown of it in the first segment. I actually highlighted that and posted it on TikTok. It could solely be for power, which to me sounds so much more disturbing. I mean, sexually is horrific, but just for no motive other than power and boredom, that is almost more disturbing than having a very set in stone motive behind what you're doing. Because I cannot confidently say what Joshua's motive was.
Even in part 1 of this docuseries, I voluntarily lent my story to this.
Yeah, she's seething. You can look at her and tell she wanted to fight. She wanted to fight. You just saw it with her in her eyes and her eyebrows. She wanted to fight. She wanted to go through that computer and get at him. I don't blame her. Do you blame her? Oh, God.
Conversation as a means and an attempt of showing that I am a survivor of brutal, life-altering abuse and that grooming of any kind is serious. I thought if I lend my voice and my experience there, it would help support people. Knowing that, Johnny essentially used even my experience to say that his perception of how he alleges he was groomed by a big ego is more disturbing than SUL grooming.
He's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. There's nothing else to explain. And yes, he still has the duct tape. That's another yellow highlighter moment that I skipped over. He still has the crown, and he has the duct tape still from Johnny, by the way. Swoop versus Johnny win. Keem can set it up. True, Shay. Thank you for the 5.
That tweeting to a man with a big ego or getting a ball of duct tape and shitposting on a Twitter account is somehow more disturbing than being f***ing raped. He has a track record of trying to one-up victims as if it's the f***ing victim Olympics. Now, I need to stress that the reason I'm talking to Adam and not Johnny about this, which I originally intended to interview Johnny again, but I didn't do that because, number one, I don't trust Johnny to ever answer me honestly anymore. And number two, Johnny weaponizing all these stories the way that he has real effects and will continue to have real effects on the people he is purposefully using as shields. And you know what? Number three, Johnny trying to weaponize behind my back to victims, trying to make it sound like our 6-hour interview makes him more important. Because of that, Johnny doesn't get to speak with me anymore.
No, but he can speak with me at Xylie Gets Real on Twitter. You can message me and DM me. I would love to have a conversation with you because I have a lot of questions. Like, I got loads of questions for you. Or you can email me, xyliegetsreal@gmail.com. And we can set up an interview live on this channel, and I'm guarantee you a bunch of people come and watch it. I bet you a bunch of people come and watch it because we know you like attention. Okay? So you'll get attention live on air. Oh my God. I have very, very specific questions for you. TJ for $4.99. Swoop vs. Johnny with Scarce as the moderator. No Keemstar. Listen. Tell you the truth, I don't know who would be a good moderator. Like, Keemstar wouldn't be a good moderator if he didn't know what was going on. Although I like Keemstar. I'm cool with Keemstar. Scarce actually, I don't know. If Scarce knew the story, Scarce would be good.
Do y'all remember back to the beginning where I shared that we believe Johnny likely doctored evidence by way of deleting Twitter DMs he had with Josh before sending them to me? Well, the truth is, and I think we're deep enough into this.
Okay, this part is amazing. Oh my God, I was cheering her on the entire time. The whole live stream is just like cussing out Johnny. I wouldn't cuss him out the whole time. I would cuss him out as soon as he would try to act like I was dumb. So probably about 15 minutes in. There would probably be a good 15 minutes in which it wouldn't happen.
That I can say this quite clearly. I feel like Johnny lies to me about like everything, and I want to show you that my team and I did absolutely everything in our power to try to make Johnny's story make sense. So I asked Johnny this. Do you still have, I'm just curious, do you still have your text conversations with Josh?
That I can check because my old MacBook Pro revived itself and I have to move quick and in small segments. So I really wanted to get the Colleen information, the meat and potatoes.
So aside from a few edits for pacing, that was Johnny's complete answer to me asking him if I could see his text messages with Joshua David Evans, which I found interesting. Afterwards, I messaged Johnny asking if he had a specific text message from Joshua, which he sent to me pretty quickly. And it's like, well, how could that be if he hadn't looked to see if he had text messages from Josh on his old computer? 10 days later, I had a phone call with Johnny and then confirmed this in text. I said, let me know if you're able to grab any text messages. And he responded, so far no luck, but if I get my hands on any, they'll go straight your way. I mean, this looks like he lied to me, right? On that phone call. And in text, we know that he has at the very least some text messages between him and Josh. He should know that we know that because he sent it to us previously.
I just found a text message where he asked me to run the account and gave me the account information, which he tried to gloss over and pretend didn't happen, but I have the proof now.
Now, let me be blunt. I don't believe Johnny has trouble accessing his old messages at all. In fact, I believe Johnny is not only accessing his old texts on an old computer, but also has full and complete access to those same messages on his newer computer.
He absolutely does. He can get them right now. Right now. Yes, this is a deep-ass investigation, Velvet. It really is.
Computer that doesn't have any function problems. iMessages opens on whatever device you log in on, okay? Detective Swoop is like, yeah, okay.
I had run Twitter accounts for him that he encouraged, and he asked me to run for him. I just found the text message where he asked me to run the account.
So when I asked Johnny if he could send me the text messages between him and Josh about the Sarah Ridiculous account, he sent me a screenshot of his old computer with iMessages open in the background and a shot of their text exchange about Sarah D. But then my team and I noticed that the open text window he's showing has an iPhone file name at the top indicating.
Okay, kids. So what we're going to learn in this section here, when you take screenshots of things, okay, edit them. Cut out all corners of everything. In other words, for example, this screenshot here, right? None of this should have been there. It honestly, you should have cut it down to where it was literally just the box. Because the shit that people can find just by you showing just a little bit is amazing. So when you do a screenshot, sometimes, you know what's funny? If you see enough screenshots and people showing screenshots, you can literally tell what kind of phone it is and whose screenshot it is. Because somebody screenshot from the UK on their phone versus somebody screenshot from the United States are going to look different. Not only are the dates going to look different, but how it shows up, like with the like if the Wi-Fi is working, the percentage, it all looks different from country to country. That's why when you take screenshots, clean them up. Because if you're trying to be deceitful like he is, you get busted. Just saying. And you know what? You can tell he doesn't know anything about YouTube drama because he didn't know to do that. I learned that when I was in the beauty drama community.
Sarah D, but then my team and I noticed that the open text window he's showing has an iPhone file name at the top, indicating that this was a screenshot that was taken with his phone, which...
Oh! Amazing! What?
Open text window he's showing has an iPhone file name at...
It's like Xylie just said that. Clean up your screenshots, you nitwits.
The top, indicating that this was a screenshot that was taken with his phone, which then made us think he has access to his old messages with Josh on his phone, took a screenshot of it, put it on his old computer, and then took a photo of it all together to make it look like he can only access it on his old...
Oh! Well, damn! Holy shit! Okay, let's continue.
Computer, not his phone. Then we looked even closer. The iMessage window that is open behind it, that has the exact same screenshot of the Sarah D conversation in his messages with a larger blue bubble under it, meaning Johnny has sent this same screenshot of his messages with Josh to someone else. I don't know who, doesn't matter. But I still couldn't shake the suspicion that he's lying about having easy access to all of his old messages. So I looked even closer. Okay, so stay with me, okay, Detective Swoop, okay, we're doing this. So when you zoom in on the screenshot he sent, you can see this shape. It's a dark silhouette of a tree on a mountain. How do I know this? Because it's the default Mac El Capitan operating system desktop image.
Oh my God! Clean your screenshots up.
Yes, I'm a thorough bitch. And I remember when I saw this before in Johnny's post of the Trisha Paytas nude pics that he made on Twitter. When you zoom in, you can see that identical tree shape in the desktop background. And
oh my God!
The iMessages bar has the same green half gradient at the top. I believe these to be the messages displayed on that same old computer. Now, here's where things get really f***ed up. John told me that he had sent a...
It's amazing. By not having a clean screenshot, it is amazing how much you can find. This part here is definitely Johnny getting swooped. Just saying.
Private apology video to Ella, apologizing for when he and Colleen were bullying Ella behind her back. I asked to verify it, and he sent me 2 clips. The first was him filming a computer that had the old messages pulled up, where he's scrolling through the messages and giving commentary to Ella about those messages. This was odd, because in the video, the computer is clearly different. It looks to be like an iMac, or at least an Apple display, and you can see the background is different. That's a sandy beach scene with sand at the bottom and clear blue water at the top. And the iMessages window is in dark mode, not the white iMessages window from his previous screenshots, which means, in my opinion, Johnny Silvestri not only has access to his old text messages on his old computer, he also has instant access on his newer computer, which he's never claimed gives him any trouble.
This is like somebody who goes and this is like somebody who goes and robs a bank, had their wallet on them, and their wallet dropped out of their pocket. It's like, bro. I love to see it. I love to see it. I love to see it.
Furthermore, this would also mean that Johnny Silvestri would also likely have access to his old messages on his phone because it's Apple. Just log in. A perfect example of this can be seen in Johnny's Ella story. In those screenshots that he tweeted, those were from his newer computer. They have the same Sandy Beach scene that matches his video that he allegedly sent Ella privately. These tweets were not from his old computer, and they happen to have older timestamps than the screenshots that he sent me of his old computer messages. Like literally, newer messages are showing up on the old computer and older messages are showing up on the new computer. Make it make sense. So all I can think at this point is that he can get the old shit on a new machine. So 10 days after Johnny sent me the Sarah D screenshot, I had a phone call with Johnny and I asked him if he could send me his text messages with.
And just to let y'all know, the tree part, because it's covering up, the tree is right there. That's the tree. This little image right here is part of the reason why he got busted. Because that's the tree right there, bottom left. Bottom left is how he got busted. Matt Pitt, shut up. Sorry, TJ for $1.99. This is like watching a Forensics File episode. It really is. It really is. So I just wanted to show y'all that bottom left corner is where he got, it's the reason why he got busted. Just saying. Throwing it out there.
With Josh, and he blamed the old computer again.
And it's tricky because if I move it a little bit, it shuts off completely.
He then confirmed this after when I text, let me know if you're able to grab any of those text messages. And he responded, so far no luck, but if I get my hands on any, they'll go straight your way. Now, it clearly appears to us that Johnny has access to his old messages. So why, when I ask for messages specifically pertaining to Joshua, the man he's accused of grooming him, of being a predator and worse than Colleen, why is he still tap dancing around this very simple question? Why won't he send me the messages?
Because I still believe I still believe this in my heart. I bet you those text messages is a bunch of text from him and he's not getting answered back and he doesn't want to show that. Because remember, he doctored the other messages, the Twitter messages, he doctored those so it wouldn't show that he was messaging him all the time with no answers. Because he didn't know that Josh also sent his messages with Johnny to Swoop. He doesn't want to show that.
Or text conversations with Josh.
That I can check.
Now, my team and I believe one of two things, that Johnny either doesn't have any texts with Josh at all and he's weaponizing the idea of having them to the public for drama, or maybe more likely, he absolutely has his texts with Josh and it looks an awful lot like his Twitter DMs, a whole lot of messages from Johnny and a complete lack of response from Joshua.
And that's my thinking. I honestly believe that's what it is. Because he's so much of a fucking narcissist, he can't understand why anybody wouldn't want to revolve their life around him. Oh my God, he's so gross.
As Johnny himself described in our interview, it would be nothing but blue bubbles.
Up until this point, I've faced a lot of friendships that were very one-sided. You'll see so many texts.
No shit, bro. No shit.
Where I'll literally send Colleen, happy birthday, or it's just embarrassing to see so many blue text bubbles, and that's like, am I being annoyed?
And he just told you why he doctored those Twitter messages. He literally just told on himself. He's an idiot. He talks so much. He reveals the truth of why he does everything, but you have to put it together because he reveals on why he did. He reveals in part D why he did what he did in part A. If you let this man talk, he tells on himself. He's horrible.
Annoying? Am I harassing this person? Do they not want anything to do with me?
No, I think along with other statements Adam has made in our second interview that this was all part of a strategic plan. A plan that Johnny crafted to build up an audience and slowly release more and more salacious content and receipts to get more clicks, likes, views, and attention.
His overall aim was to build an audience and then make the Josh video. And he had made that very clear.
I was able to revive my old MacBook Pro that I haven't been on for 3 years. I've come across gold, if you will. Or I've struck gold is the correct saying.
We also did not know that he was making a plan and plotting to build up an audience to then do the Joshua, because when we saw the first Joshua post that he did, it sounded very much like, I didn't know I was going to talk about this. This is all coming very suddenly. I wasn't expecting this. I quite literally think he starts that video saying those things.
I never really wanted to make this video or ever intended on making a video like this about this situation.
But to hear...
Really? Do we really believe that? Do we really believe you didn't intend to make that video? You know damn well you intended to make that video.
That was something that he was strategizing from the beginning. Now, I was going to come on here and say, hey, Johnny, stop hiding. If you truly are an open book, as you told me, then just post all of your old messages with Josh. Since your story is apparently so similar to Adam, why don't you just scroll through them like Adam painstakingly did with all of his messages with Colleen? It was the most brilliantly transparent thing I think I've ever seen somebody do. Thank you.
He literally did a whole ass live stream where he went through every DM and literally scrolled through every single DM he had with Colleen. He even accidentally hearted one. Because it was on, I believe it was on Instagram. He accidentally hearted one and started laughing about it, going, oh, well, she's going to get a notification that I just liked one of her DMs to me. It was funny as hell.
Thank you, Adam. But then I realized if Johnny was likely willing to remove Twitter DMs and manipulate that narrative, then there is now no world in which, if Johnny did release his text with Joshua, that I would ever believe they weren't in some way manipulated as well. Johnny has ruined any amount of credibility he had with us. His words hold no weight, and he did this to himself.
Yep. Okay, this part... This part, he's gross. He's so gross.
I'm going to backtrack a little to Johnny's stories about his private correspondence with Colleen Ballinger. Johnny makes it sound as if the two of them were almost exclusively talking shit about other fans or talking shit about her ex-husband Josh. I think these clips I'm about to play are interesting for a few reasons. Number one, they really highlight the mean girl type atmosphere Colleen and Corey seem to have fostered for years.
Kind of a realization for me right now. I didn't really hang out or talk to Colleen unless we were talking poorly about someone. Where friends of his like Rebecca Zamalo came up to me during VidCon, and her words, something along the lines of, you are so much funnier than Josh. Rebecca is a nasty person because she social climbed her way up. She used...
Ooh, he's projecting again. Because it sounds like to me you tried to social climb your way up, not once, but now twice. Because when Adam's story came out, you're trying to social climb through trauma that didn't fucking exist for you. You're social climbing through other people's trauma, trying to gain some fucking clout. And you got busted. In your words, you fucked around and found out. Just saying. Nice, Midna.
Them, and she is in a lot of the behind the scenes garbage of why their relationship went so south. There was never, to my knowledge, anything weird between her and Josh going on, but she instigated a lot of the issues between him and Colleen and enjoyed it. She took pride in it and put Colleen in some very dangerous situations.
Number two,
he always seems to be, you know what? I think he's still a fan of Colleen. I think he's still a fan of Colleen. I do. I think he still regards Colleen very highly. I really do. Yes, it is, Adams. It is. His interview is so Colleen coded. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. I think he's still a fan of her. Because he'll pepper her with like little insults here and there, but he doesn't go all in on her.
Really sets the stage for when we're going to talk about the exact dynamic of how Johnny's opinion of Joshua David Evans evolved after mean girling with Colleen. And number three, it taught me a little bit more about Johnny Silvestri himself. When your relationship with Josh came to an end, when did you really pull towards Colleen as a friend?
I'm not a kid anymore. They're already having like adult conversations with me. It was mean, nasty conversations, but to me, the fact that they were having them with me, I was like, okay, I'm in now. Anytime we be talking.
Yeah, funny thing is what you just said is exactly what happened to Adam and those other kids. And guess what? It was grooming with them. They were children. They were 13, 14 years old, seeing adult conversations that should not have been had with 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds. They were kids. Yeah, same Henrietta. I mean, I got fussed out by somebody in my chat going, everybody starts off with, I know Trisha Paytas is controversial and I don't like her. Yeah, well, she is controversial and I do not like Trisha Paytas, okay? I think she is changing for the better, okay? Trishy Land can kiss my ass. I don't like them at all, okay? However, sending somebody's nudes to other people without their knowledge or permission is gross. Especially, now some people like, well, she put it on OnlyFans. Exactly. That's behind a paywall. That is her content. You're literally stealing her content. So you're a piece of shit. I know, we're going to watch that video eventually. I don't know here or the broadcast, one of the two. I think the broadcast.
She'd say horrible things about other YouTubers, which include people like Gabby Hanna, Nikita Dragon, Manny MUA, to name a few. If we weren't talking shit about her ex-husband, it was about YouTubers. The girl who I was sent nudes of was kind of on a watch list as like an obsessive fan. So I was like, okay, this is part of my job, so I'm gonna be on the lookout. But Colleen takes it the extra step, decides to make fun of her, and shares her nudes with me. The girl is covering herself, covering her chest with her hands, but she's still completely exposed.
So if you didn't catch that, Colleen Ballinger is, or at least was, allegedly collecting her fans' nudes.
Johnny still has copies of these photos on his phone. You don't feel too bad about it, do you, buddy?
And sending them to her friends, not just Trish. So then we find ourselves at the Trisha Paytas story. Now first let me say, I know Trisha Paytas has some shit in her past, but for this doc, I don't care.
I don't care either, because what she has done in her past has nothing to do with this specific situation. All the shitty things, which I, somewhere in a notebook, have a page and a half of it written down for when I did my Mysterious video or live stream. Don't get me started on Mysterious. We're not going there right now. But anywho, everything she's done has nothing to do with this specific situation. So I personally do not care how I feel, how anyone feels about Trisha Paytas. Because it has shit all to do with the fact that her nudes were being sent around by people. I do not care. Now, with that said, I'm going to go run to the restroom real quick. Okay? Y'all are just going to have to hold on. Hold on, what is this? Okay, nothing. Hold on. Go back to that. Go to this. So I am going to be right back. It is not going to take me long. TJ, I'll get back to that in a second, okay? Let me go run to the restroom. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Wait, let me cut that off. Bam. All right. Okay, so TJ for 1999. Johnny responded with a Twitter rant. He throws Swoop. Yeah, we're going to go over it on the broadcast. Under the bus and gaslights her for defamation. Says, I'm not going to sit here and defend myself to every one of your heinous allegations about me via Notes app. Well, do you, Johnny? Yes, if you could please like the stream, that would actually help me. It helps with the algorithm, and it shows that you like me. And it would be really nice to have 200 people like me. Just saying. Yeah, there's nothing to defend. He lied. Ursula, we do not like you. Well, I don't like you either, Ursula. How about that? Just saying. Thank you, Ursula. I appreciate it. Alright, so let's get this Trisha Paytas part started.
Trisha Paytas is another victim in this story, and that's all I'm focused on. So we all know that Colleen sent Trisha's nude photos to Johnny without Trisha's consent.
You'll see so many texts where I'll literally send Colleen, you know, happy birthday, and a month goes by and then I get a nude of Trisha Paytas.
How do we know these messages exist? Because Johnny posted the screenshots of some of the texts where Colleen sent the pics all over his Twitter page, applying what I consider to be a disrespectful level of inadequate censoring. Now, this actually got Johnny suspended from Twitter for a day, so, you know, at least he's on
And he deserved it. He absolutely deserved it.
brand. But would y'all like me to drop an exclusive f***ing bomb on this part of the story, that Trisha Paytas part of the story? In all the videos, the reacts, the TikToks, the private phone call with Adam, in all of Johnny's statements about these Trisha photos, from what we've seen, Johnny has never once admitted to all of you, the public, that he also initiated sending nudes unprovoked. He's kept that hidden, but for whatever reason, he admitted it to me in our interview. I guess 6 with Swoop gets the people talking.
Yeah, you know what it is? I'm gonna tell you right now. Aiko has the same issue. And this is why Beavers will not go and talk to Aiko. Aiko, well, this is why I think Beavers won't go talk to Aiko. But Beavers doesn't really hide anything. I'm just, like, memeing on that. But Aiko and Swoop are the same way. They're so kind that when people start talking with them, they just let it all out. They just let everything out. With Aiko, they think she's some dumb stoner chick, right? So they think, oh, she's dumb. I can get away with it. With Swoop, I guarantee you, oh, she sees me as a victim, so she's going to believe everything I say. And he told on himself all over the place. It's crazy.
If I find a photo, I follow Trisha, so if she posts something publicly, or sometimes I would literally just go to Google and type in like Trisha Paytas nude, but I never did it to body shame Trish. I will say on one account, there was something that was nasty of me that I said in regards to her body.
Yeah, John.
It doesn't matter, Johnny. You still sent nudes of Trisha Paytas. You still sent pictures of someone's nude body to other people. And you were grown. You were an adult. Bro, what?
Johnny, as an adult, would Google Trisha Paytas' nudes and send her photos back to Colleen, but somehow wasn't body shaming Trish in the process, something he has withheld from the public, and I wonder why.
I would go the extra lengths, find my own picture to send back, and I'd be like, hey girl, you know, like, posted a new Instagram, how do I look? And then she'd be like, oh my god, you're dumb, but you looked hot. Just little things like that.
Just little things like that. Listen, I know he said he was an employee and he was under Colleen's spell, and there's some truth to that. It appears Colleen was a very manipulative person, but Johnny is still, to this day, when he shouts from the rooftops that he knows right from wrong, and everybody should take accountability.
He don't know right from wrong. He absolutely does not know right from wrong. Or if he does, he chooses not to do right.
He's still referring to downloading and sending someone's nude pics back and forth to shame a woman without her consent as just little things.
Just little things like that.
And he did this as a whole grain oats adult ass man.
Yep.
Just for clarity on that, when you would like send a photo back, was that of Trisha?
Yeah, and usually it was just like I have one screenshot that I saw that I had sent, and it's really just like, Trisha butt ass naked with like a giant smile on her face, and I forget exactly what I said, but the caption was just something like, felt cute.
To be clear, he said he has a screenshot of him initiating the sending of a Trisha pic, but for some reason he couldn't muster the strength to post that one to the public with the rest of the other ones. I mean, for...
He is so full of shit. He is so full of shit. Oh my God, he is so full of shit. All he gives a shit about is himself. I'm telling you, all he gives a shit about is himself.
Sake, Johnny literally tweeted over a month ago that, quote, the fact that Colleen Ballinger, who has an audience of children, decided to make a podcast with a porn star in the first place is questionable. I just, like, how much more can you victimize Trish in this story, John? Let me just run down the checklist. Let's see, he told Adam his story is more important than Adam's. Check. Claimed big ego grooming is a thing that's worse than grooming. Check. Shamed and claimed domestic survivors are just mad because they around and found out. Check. Shamed a grown-ass woman's decision to be an online sex worker. Check. I mean, I don't know, man. There's an awful lot of shaming going on in present adult man day, if you ask me, but what do I know, right? I'm just the one who spent more time interviewing you than anyone else was willing to on the planet. Around and find out, right? After Johnny says he has a screenshot of him sending unsolicited Trish pics, he says this.
I did that because I knew if I was being nasty about somebody that I would get attention.
Johnny just said,
there you go. Again, he keeps telling on himself.
He says this.
I did that because I knew if I was being nasty about somebody that I would get attention.
That's all he cares about. That's all he wants is attention. That's all he wants is attention. Yep, pack it up, guys. It's over. Yep. All this, everything that he has done is for attention. He's very gross. He's very gross.
Johnny just said that he would initiate sending Trish pics without her consent to Colleen Ballinger to get attention from...
Miss Susie, thank you for joining the Just Saying squad. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Colleen, and this went on for years.
Up until 2020.
Was this Colleen's influence and conditioning? Maybe. Does that excuse it? Nope.
However, I have a lot of people coming at me like, you were an adult. You knew better. Sure, that's a fair argument, but...
After hearing all of this from Johnny, I had to...
What do you mean that's a fair argument? That... Oh my God. Oh my God. What? Oh.
Was this Colleen's influence and conditioning? Maybe. Does that excuse it? Nope.
However, I have a lot of people coming at me like, you were an adult. You knew better. Sure, that's a fair argument.
Oh God. That's not a fair argument. That is the argument. That's not a fair argument. That is the argument. Because you cannot debate that fact. That's not even an argument. It's a fact. You were a grown man doing that. There is no but. You still did it.
But
after hearing all of this from Johnny, I had to ask Adam if Johnny had ever told him any of this.
Swip, I can't even say, this makes me so, like, angry that this is the second time on this call with you today that I'm saying a similar thing where he has told us both two different stories. He told me, oh, well, what you did was really bad, but Colleen used to just send them to me and make me really uncomfortable.
He told you that you did something bad in that situation?
He told me that I was the one being inappropriate, whereas Colleen was harassing him with them because...
So what Adam did was inappropriate. Adam, you were wrong for what you did. But Colleen was harassing me with it, so it's worse for me. Johnny, he was underage. He was young and dumb. What was your fucking excuse? What was your fucking excuse? He was literally a kid. You were an adult. What's your excuse? He does. He wants to play Victim Olympics. 100%. 100%. And yes, though, you are correct. He cannot see any perspective but his own.
Because me and Colleen, and I said this on the record, it was our in-between bit back and forth, right? I was 14, she was whatever, 30-something, 14, 30-something.
Yeah, you were, yes, Adam, apparently you were inappropriate, which, I mean, yes, it was inappropriate. However, Adam was 14. Colleen, 30-something-year-old woman, having those types of conversation with a 14-year-old is different than having those conversations with an adult. But yet Adam was wrong and you weren't, Johnny? What? What?
Johnny said to me that basically I was acting inappropriate and he was being harassed by Colleen sending them to him, and our stories were different. So if I was going to go on the record with it, I had to make that distinction. So that makes me so angry, knowing that not only again with the other one, but this time that you were told a different story than what I was.
I'm actually legitimately speechless, but I know I have to say something. I cannot believe that he told you to your face that you were inappropriate. You were a child. What Colleen was doing.
Literally. He was literally a child. Literally.
Allegedly, I have to say that, is illegal. It's a crime. It is an actual crime.
Yes!
You have absolutely no fault in that. I cannot believe that he literally blamed and victim shamed a child for receiving.
Because he doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. He is patient zero. He literally sees himself as patient zero. Literally.
Pornographic materials. That makes me absolutely sick. It would be really easy for me to show you guys how mad I am right now, even listening back to that clip, but I think I'm ready to level with all of you and share a thought that I've had through all of this on the keenest observation one can make about Johnny Silvestri. When you look at the bigger picture, Johnny Silvestri, in my opinion and my team's opinion, is a leech.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He leeches off of everybody. He tries to leech clout from everybody. It's like that tweet he put out a few days before Swoops' video came out. And he was trying to like hype up the video. And I'm going to tell you something, a couple days later, that didn't age well. That didn't age well at all. Did not age well at all. I love to see it. Love to fucking see it.
Allegedly. He got his start on YouTube World by trying to network with Joshua David Evans as a teen. And when that situation did not go the way he wanted it to, he made the decision when he was an adult to begin joining in on her.
By the way, I believe that's his family doing the Harlem Shake.
And when that situation did not.
FYI. But he was groomed, y'all.
Go the way he wanted it to, he made the decision when he was an adult to begin joining in on harassing Joshua on social media. He pivoted over to Colleen Ballinger and began trying to establish himself as an integral part of her world as what can generously be described as the second Corey DeSoto, but less clever. Like, he's literally like a diet Corey DeSoto, only with that shitty pink pack of...
He literally is a diet Corey DeSoto. He literally is diet Corey DeSoto. Literally. J. Rose says, I would be interested in seeing a good psychiatrist or psychologist interview Johnny. A word to look up if you did talk to Johnny Psychopath. True. Great value, Corey. Yeah, he is. He's great value, Corey.
Saccharin instead of like the Splenda.
I struck out with Josh. Maybe Colleen can be my redemption, which is what inspired me.
Oh, another highlighter moment. Let's listen to that again.
Shitty pink pack of saccharin instead of like the Splenda.
I struck out with Josh.
What happened?
Less clever. Like, he's literally like a diet Corey DeSoto, only with that shitty pink pack of saccharin instead of like the Splenda.
I struck out with Josh.
You struck out with Josh. That's another yellow highlighter moment. I struck out with Josh.
Maybe Colleen can be my redemption, which is what inspired me and encouraged me to put myself out there to work for her.
When that didn't work, he moved to California, where he lived closer to a man named Tim Connolly, his best friend since around 2013. In 2020, still clinging to the Colleen Ballinger dream ticket, Johnny Silvestri supported Colleen when Adam first came forward with allegations against her and publicly shamed Adam for speaking out. At some point between then and now, something happened where Johnny and Tim stopped being friends, and somewhere around January of this year, it became incredibly clear to Johnny that he no longer had a place in Colleen Ballinger's world. And when Adam's story came back around this year, just a few months after whatever that falling out was with Colleen, it truly does appear like Johnny was able to finally snap back at every single person he had leached onto the entire time he'd been trying to make it in entertainment that he believed wronged him in some way.
But yet he doesn't snap on Colleen really hard at all, and it's kind of weird. Just saying.
Joshua David Evans didn't take Johnny with him, therefore Joshua is a groomer. Colleen Ballinger didn't welcome Johnny back, therefore she's his groomer. Even though he's made it very clear that he wasn't close to her until he was an adult. And no, this doesn't absolve Colleen at all. She groomed the hell out of Adam and has yet to take accountability. Now, back to Johnny. Tim Connolly might actually be a groomer, but you can't deny there's a running trend in Johnny Silvestri's life that everyone he hates is a f***ing groomer, even if in cases like Joshua David Evans, there is no evidence that Johnny was groomed by him. And so now, think about everything I just said. Think about the, quote, parallels that Johnny has brought to the surface here that he claims to have with Adam McIntyre. You see it in the evolution of how Johnny tells the Trisha Paytas story, because if what Adam's telling me is accurate, and I have no reason to believe that it's not, then Johnny has literally stolen part of Adam's story and recounted it back to me in an interview.
Yeah, he's been doing that with everybody. He even said Trent, he even said at one point Trent groomed him. But that wasn't his story. That was, I believe, Oliver's. He's absolutely a leech. 100%. And then he leeches and then blames the person he leached the story from. And victim blames them. He's like the worst kind of leech. Like, bro, what?
If I'm right about my suspicions, then I think it's safe to say that Johnny has once again leached onto someone else in hopes that it's going to bring him success, and that person is Adam McIntyre, a literal victim of childhood grooming who Johnny has made very clear to me, and maybe by now to you watching, is somebody he hopes to emulate to reach greater heights.
Yes, and that's why we asked the question, who are you, Johnny? I'll pull a Nikocado avocado real quick on you. Who are you? And I mean it in the most Nikocado avocado way. Who are you? You are a nobody. Who are you? Literally. You're no one.
And I am speaking up now and putting all of this information out there to all of you because, make no mistake, it is incredibly likely that if Johnny Silvestri isn't stopped now with what he's doing, if he doesn't change and take accountability, he's probably going to find a way to accuse Adam of grooming, and we're not about to let that happen. And if you have any...
Yeah, and he might try to do it to Swoop too. He wouldn't get away with it though. Tell you the truth, if he pulled something like that, he would be laughed off the internet. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it, and I don't care if y'all are watching. I don't give a shit. Anybody who believes him, y'all are dumb. Y'all are dumb. If you believe that shit. Yeah, that's why she's doing it. Hell yeah, that's why she did this video. I don't blame her. Yeah, he would get away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids, right, Ginger?
Doubts about why I needed to call Adam McIntyre with this. It's because this is a genuine concern that I have. I presented this theory to Adam, and here's what he had to say. In a way, even in the interview, Johnny had told me that he, for so much of his life, he chases after people, and then he discovers the fandom, and then he's chasing after Colleen, and then chasing after Josh, and maybe, I don't know, chasing after you by attaching his story so closely to yours. I don't want to make that assumption that you might feel that way. I'm just...
Well, I'll make the assumption chasing after the #1 spot. I think the perfect example of this was the H3 podcast. When H3 had Oliver, Becky, and Johnny on, the reason I couldn't be there, hand to God, was because I was at Disneyland. I'm very glad that I was at Disneyland, because when I watched it back, there's only so much that Ethan Klein or the crew can do to direct Johnny from hugging that mic mama. So many people were publicly tagging.
I want to go back and watch that interview. I do want to go back and watch that interview. I don't know, maybe we'll do that this week. Because, you know, I'm taking the Willie Mack theory. Bullying works. I think I want to go back and watch that. He only shut up when his internet pooped out. Wow.
me in tweets and tagging Oliver and Becky and being like, sorry you didn't get a chance to speak, unless he was the number one from the get-go, showed me that you were looking at this as key players, orchestrated, like a big movement that there's, you know, people controlling it. And it just always came across to me like he wasn't going to be happy unless he was the number one. And please, God, he can take it off me. I don't want it.
I can't stress this enough.
Yeah, he wants to be Adam. He wants those hundreds of thousands of subscribers. He wants the community that Adam has. He wants what he sees as clout against Colleen, that the supposed clout that Adam has gotten from Colleen. He wants all of that. Bro, you want to be canceled for telling the truth at 17 years old like Adam was? And was bullied for 3 fucking years until the truth came out? Huh? You want that? Because I can tell you now, you wouldn't be able to handle it. You wouldn't be able to handle it. It's amazing that Adam did handle it. It's amazing Adam didn't just quit the internet and leave. It's absolutely amazing he didn't quit the internet and leave. Like, what? Most people would have. All those big YouTubers and that orchestrated takedown of Adam, and he still survived it. He still survived it, and he prospered. Despite them. Amazing, isn't it? Johnny hasn't tweeted for 3 days now. I guess not. I guess he hasn't, because he knows his ass is busted.
I really wanted to support Johnny through all of this. That's why I sat there for 6 straight hours. But so many of his words just honestly broke my heart.
I don't feel great that I used Trish at her expense, but I guess what does help me sleep at night is knowing that I wasn't friends with Trish. She was just this untouchable public figure to me.
That makes you a piece of shit, Johnny.
Me sleep at night is knowing that I wasn't friends with Trish. She was just this untouchable public figure to me.
That makes you a piece of shit. If that helped you sleep at night, that makes you a piece of shit. Because you can't put yourself in somebody else's shoes. That makes you a piece of shit. You literally just told the world you are undoubtedly a piece of shit. Yeah, Trisha was just a bunch of pixels. Who cares? Yeah.
Does that make it okay? After hearing this, I wanted to ask Johnny something important. I'm curious to know, at what point did you have the realization that the sending of Trisha nudes was inappropriate?
Something always felt wrong, morally, deep down.
Bro, you cannot say that morally deep down something felt wrong when you were able to sleep at night because you didn't know who she was. Like, because you didn't know her. Those two sentences do not correlate.
But I think I was just more excited over the fact that it was a way to create a bond between me and these people.
Listen, I'm not going to get into body language shit. We will leave that to Observe and the behavioral panel, but I do find it so uncomfortable that Johnny is grinning ear to ear while he's saying this, and he continues. But when do you think that maybe it was in the last couple of years, did you have a moment where you were like, you know, looking back at the nude photos thing and you thought, that's actually really wrong?
Watching Trisha's video, the difference between her and Colleen's videos were Colleen made an ass out of herself and thought she was being cute and funny and gonna have a little viral moment. Call Trish what you want, but like I felt the authenticity and I felt the hurt.
And then insults Trish and judges that she was authentic enough. He literally did this to her. Yep. True.
And,
Trisha, she came off devastated. Well, now that Trisha has made a video, Trisha is a victim in this story. I wanted to ask if there might be a time where you might consider taking those tweets down now that they kind of have served their purpose.
Some of them did get taken down, but that is actually why I was put in Twitter jail, because of some of the photos. And I was like, are you effing kidding me? Like, it just seemed stupid to me because I was like, okay, I get it. But also, these are like crucial to my story. Just hearing your perspective, you're someone I really respect a lot. And so
No, he doesn't. Swoop, he doesn't respect you. He absolutely does not respect Swoop. Because if you don't lie to someone that you respect, dummy. You do not lie to someone you respect. What? Actually, quite the opposite.
I will say with Trisha, I did have a better idea of how this plays out.
I don't think this is bringing her peace, having them out.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I didn't think they bring her peace. I'll be honest. It was just a piece of all of this. So I saw Trisha's video and I was like, well, that's great.
Now, about 12 hours after I said that to John, he deleted all but one of the Trisha photos. He just couldn't help himself and leave one. And my favorite part, the next day, he went on the H3 podcast and literally used my words that they've served their purpose to white knight himself and make it sound like he decided all on his own that the right thing to do is take them down.
It was a whole thing. Now I've taken the pictures down because I don't, they've served their purpose, right?
No, I just...
Oh, God. Oh my God. This dude, he is such a piece of shit. Oh my God, he is such a piece of shit. Ugh.
I just want to say to Trisha, I am sorry you ever had to go through this. To be betrayed by someone you thought was your friend for so many years is truly awful. And to have exploited by a man like this with no consideration to your feelings as a human being is deplorable. I hope that you are able to find some healing in this. And if you would ever like to talk, my door is absolutely open. Now, I'd like to talk a little more about Johnny allegedly co-opting victims' stories to prop up his own because, you know, competition. I've mentioned how he continually compares his own story to Adam's, something he has done in most every public appearance he's made,
Yep.
and recently lied about doing that on his Twitter account.
And this just goes to show the parallels between Adam and I's stories. We both experienced two separate things with the Ballinger family and many others, but our stories align and they're very similar.
No, they're not at all. They're absolutely not. That's why you were 17 for 3 straight years, right? Get the fuck out of here.
Many moments of like, I would say something and then he would be like, oh my God, yeah, like that happened to me, but it was like 10 times worse.
Now, I've spoken to other people who have not given Johnny permission to use their stories. Both of these people claimed that Johnny has co-opted their stories on podcasts, TikTok live streams, Do We Know Them podcast. He even did it in our interview. Both people allege that Johnny...
What, Fairy? Fairy, you just typed my name. Why are you just typing my name? Oh. He forgot. It was an accident. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course.
Johnny is using their stories without their consent, and both say that Johnny is flat out lying anytime he refers to either of them as Joshua's victims. One of them has provided me with screenshots of her DMs with Johnny, where she explicitly told him to stop sharing her story publicly, period. Now, I've kept their names anonymous because both of them have also told me that they are legitimately afraid of Johnny retaliating against them.
You know what's so sad? Is like, I feel bad for them because they feel bad. I feel bad for them because they're scared of Johnny. Like, I understand that fear. I do understand that fear. And I feel bad for them. And I'm glad she's not saying who they are because that way Johnny can't, you know, fuck with them. That angers me because he's walking around with his chest stuck out like, yeah, people fear me. He's gross. He's absolutely gross.
Remember when we heard another victim come forward and say that they were afraid of Johnny retaliating? These people don't know each other, and they all use the same language and that word retaliating. Now, the first one I spoke to saw the social media firestorm that ensued the week of June 3rd when Cody Tyler posted their video about why they left the Colleen Ballinger fandom, and Johnny Silvestri, who on June 7th released his initial allegations of grooming against Joshua on Twitter. This tweet inspired the woman, who was a former fan of Colleen and Josh's, to reach out to Johnny privately on June 8th about a story in which she alleged that Joshua had been weird with her on social media. Now, you might know about this woman's story if you listen to the Do We Know Them podcast, because she's the person who Josh sent a few inappropriate tweets to back in 2013 when she was only 14, including a comment where he said, quote, "Your profile pic just turned me on." Johnny shared her story on a podcast that, as of me writing,
yes, inappropriate, very inappropriate. However,
this has been viewed over 250,000 times without her consent. Now, to be clear, the hosts of the podcast, Lily and Jesse, were unaware of these conversations because Johnny, to our knowledge, did not give them the full story. Now, I spoke to this woman who has chosen to remain anonymous, but has also not only provided us with a statement, she also provided us with her Twitter DM correspondence with Johnny to confirm that this conversation happened.
So regarding Josh, I was a huge fan of Josh and Colleen around 2012, 2014. Regarding the profile picture turning him on tweet, I very rarely had my profile picture as myself. most likely this was a photo of Josh and he was referring to himself. I think anything that Josh has said and done regarding me was done with good and comedic intentions, which looking back now does not translate well, obviously. But I do not think that Josh has been a pedophile or a predator or a groomer in relation to this situation. I also want to say that regardless of anyone else's opinion on this, I've spoken with Josh privately and he has apologised, and I accept this apology. I believe that this is all that matters in relation to my story. I do not want to keep talking about it. Josh and I made peace, and it's so annoying to keep seeing Johnny talk about something that is none of his business. I initially, as anyone would, when I saw these tweets that Josh had tweeted to me as an adult, I was really angry and my emotions were running very high.
I don't blame her. If she's already rectified the situation and Josh rectified the situation with her and it's done and over with, it is nobody's story to talk about but her own. It is nobody's story to talk about but her own. You don't sit there and you don't take somebody's story and do that.
So I messaged Johnny as he had a relationship with Josh, and I remembered him from years ago when I was an active fan online. I did describe it as weird, and I was upset. In hindsight, I wish I'd sat with it a bit more and didn't relay my raw thoughts and feelings to a stranger or acquaintance, and instead went to Josh himself or people in my personal life, and that's something that I do regret. Johnny then asked if he could use these tweets. I said no, but you can refer to them. He then said, I don't want to put you in any harm's way, so I'll leave these between us. And that's a direct quote. Later, I realised I did not want him to even refer to them, but assumed because of his message, he wouldn't tweet about it anyway.
And he tweeted about it anyway.
To be clear, she initially told Johnny he could mention her story, but only in broad terms and without dragging her name into it. She later changed her mind, but didn't expect Johnny to tweet about it given the way their conversation ended. But a week later, on June 15th, Johnny tweeted this: I literally have photo proof of this man tweeting a 14-year-old child at the time that they turned him on. He's just as weird. He left the spotlight to hide because they had skeletons too. Because Johnny used direct quotations in the tweets, people began searching on Twitter for variations of @JoshuaDTown turns me on, and found the original post, which included our speaker's real name. Now,
Hello? You idiot!
She wrote Johnny back on June 15th, quote, hey, you mentioned that you were going to leave those tweets between us. I know I said you can refer to it if you need it, and that still would have been fine, but would have appreciated the heads up. Also, the tweet in question mentions my profile picture turning him on. It is a very weird phrase to say to a minor, yes, but there is no way of knowing what profile picture I had at the time. I didn't usually have...
Exactly!
him on. It is a very weird phrase to say to a minor, yes, but there is no way of knowing what profile picture I had at the time. I didn't usually have my own face as my profile picture, but sometimes I did. I really do doubt that he would say that about me publicly. Now, just to clarify, we were able to confirm that it was a photo of Josh that was used as her profile photo. Now,
so she had a profile picture of Josh. Josh tweeted at the person who was 14, not good, tweeted at the person who had his picture as their profile pic, saying that that profile pic turns me on. I don't know if he knew she was a minor. That's actually a good question. Still inappropriate because it was a minor, but he was joking at the fact that it was a picture of him. He didn't see the picture of a 14-year-old girl and say, that picture turns me on. There is nuance in there. So what has he done? He, Josh, and her have talked, and he apologized to her, and everything's good. Yeah, Skip, that changes everything. Now here comes Johnny in 2023, literally making it look like she had a profile picture of herself and Josh said that to her. It was a profile picture of his picture. Context matters. Context matters. Yes. 100%. Steer weird, but not sexually harassing a minor. Exactly. Exactly.
I can't share how we confirm this in order to protect our speaker. It's kind of up to them.
He's such a snake in the grass. 100%, Skip. 100%.
them to let that information out if they choose to. But this is information Johnny could have found himself if he bothered to research anything. Then the woman tells Johnny in no uncertain terms to delete the tweet and quote, "I no longer want it even referred to. The stress this has caused me, even with as little eyes on it as possible, is just not worth it. Thank you." To which Johnny responded.
So Johnny then said, "I'm sorry, I just couldn't hold back. I just couldn't not use this valuable information, and I will no longer bring this situation up because I do not want it to be causing you any harm or stress." He also said this before going on the podcast, so he obviously went back on his word.
Like, there's a lot of who I have dragged in, and it doesn't feel good, but what I hope people understand, and luckily for me, what the people who did unfortunately get dragged in, they understand.
You're so... Oh my God, you're such a... You are such a shit person. You are such a shit person.
On the podcast, so he obviously went back on his word.
Like, there's a lot of who I have dragged in, and it doesn't feel good, but what I hope people understand, and luckily for me, what the people who did unfortunately get dragged in, they understand.
You're literally admitting that you dragged in people who didn't want to get dragged in, but I hope they understand. Like, what? What? It's crazy.
Luckily for me speaks volumes. 2 weeks after she asked him to stop, on June 28th, 2023, Johnny shared her story again on the Do We Know Them podcast, all 250,000 plus viewers. And it was at Joshua's request that the offending statement be removed, which Lily and Jesse eventually did.
And he also said, "I haven't told a single person to shoot or shared the screenshot she sent me, and I promise to keep it that way," end quote. So he said that and very clearly lied to me about it, because that is exactly what he did. Or if he wasn't lying then, he went back on his word.
And to make matters worse, Johnny went so far as to say to me that his reason for sharing this person's story wasn't to help them, it was to help himself.
And for me, it was really, really difficult. I got this information and I was like, holy shit, like, this is really crucial for, you know, backing up my stories with Josh.
So
it's all about Johnny. It's all about Johnny.
And I was like, holy shit, like...
Wait.
It was to help himself.
And for me, it was really, really difficult. I got this information and I was like, holy shit, like, this is really crucial for, you know, backing up my stories with Josh.
It's all about him. Yes, Jasmine, Swoop is pretty. It's all about him. He doesn't give a shit about anybody else but himself. His story is the most important. Yep, Zoe. That's what he thinks. Yup. He's a piece of shit. He's an absolute piece of shit.
So before he sent me this message, he tweeted again about another tweet about me. This was 20 minutes before he'd sent me this message, basically saying I'll never do it again. But I sent him that message asking him to leave it 2 hours before, and he just ignored me and kept the tweet up. From what I remember, he just ignored me.
Johnny, as of me recording this, still has not deleted the tweets talking about the story where he has created a victim out of thin air.
I'm still quite angry, but I've kept him muted and haven't been watching any videos that relate to him. I asked him not to, and he still did.
And after she rescinded consent, he became incredibly dismissive and arrogant about what he had done to her.
Well, yeah, of course, because everybody is supposed to revolve around Johnny. It's Johnny's world. We just live in it. That is how this man feels about himself. It is Johnny's world. We just live in it, and you just have to deal with everything. You just have to deal with it.
And I woke up the next morning, and the girl is totally backtracking, and she's like, no, please, like, don't share the images or whatever. I never promised, and I can't promise that I won't speak about these situations.
Bro, you can't do that.
It took a legal turn and I was being addressed by a legal team. Sorry, girl, I did not approach you. I didn't even follow you anymore, and you sent me this information.
He did not stand by his word. There was no legal team addressing him yet. But, you know, I guess, sorry, girl, it's all your fault.
It has caused me quite a lot of upset and stress, and to be honest, I didn't want to have to come out with any of this stuff. I'm now doing it to hopefully clear Josh's name, to be honest. I don't believe that Josh had those intentions. And it has been told from a perspective that I am not happy with, and I just want it to go away. I do feel like I have been forced to come out because of worries about my privacy. I am doing this because I feel like my side of all of this just hasn't been told, and so I hope that this helps.
Yeah, it's oh my God. Johnny thinks everyone else are NPCs and he's the main character. Yes, 100%. 100%, Anon.
just want it to stop. I want him to stop talking about it because I didn't want him to talk about it in the first place.
And then according to the DMs she shared with us, after making another plea for him to remove his post, he left her on red, essentially doxed her, and he ghosted her. He ghosted her. Let that sink in.
Okay, this one's kind of sad.
Now, the story comes with a bit of a caveat. I actually conducted an interview with this person that was already edited into the script, but at the last minute, they revoked consent to have their story be shared, which I agreed to, no problem, okay? I respect that, because it really is that f***ing easy, Johnny. However, I kindly asked if I could share this person's reasoning as to why they revoked consent, because I think it paints an even clearer picture of just how disturbing the Johnny Silvestri story is. Quote, "Hi, thank you for your response. For the sake of my mental health, I really think it would be best to remove my statements entirely. I don't mind if you mention my story vaguely, but I don't really want my audio on the record. Johnny has just been twisting the narrative so much, and I have no hope that he is going to stop, and I am fairly positive that my story will be invalidated by him and those who support him, and I truthfully just can't handle people coming at me at this time. I hope you understand. I really appreciate everything you're doing to bring the truth to light, and I wish I had the strength to contribute, but I just don't right now. This whole thing is a lot, and Johnny is becoming more and more cruel."
Now, I will say this girl, when the video dropped, and, you know, I think this is really good. And I think it actually has more impact now, even though it's not in the video. I think it has more impact the way she did it. Because after the video went live, and I guess after she saw the way people supported the video and was like, oh, we're not taking Johnny's shit anymore, she went on Twitter and she did a thread and explained everything, and Swoop retweeted it, and she has a lot of support. So Johnny has groomed all of us by leaving the internet. Egg, you are bad. You're a bad egg. You're a bad egg, Egg. But yeah, she came out and did a whole thread on Twitter. Swoop retweeted it, and yeah, no, she's got support. So yeah, it was a strong tweet. It was a very strong series of tweets. That's true, unknown error. We are all bad eggs here. We are a Christian mingled chat of bad eggs.
First of all, you don't have to apologize to me for anything. You were brave to even allow me to share that part of your story. Thank you. Now, afterwards, they said we could speak about their story in generalities. This person also alleged that Johnny attempted to weaponize their story in an attempt to obtain more ammunition, which I'm just now realizing is a word that Johnny uses a lot in regards to weaponizing other people's statements against them. At first, they told us that they were shocked by and supportive of Johnny's claims against Josh, but eventually became even more disturbed by Johnny's behavior when they believed Johnny began to publicly say that Joshua had multiple victims, and that when Johnny was talking about this, he was talking about their experience, which scared the hell out of this person, because not only had they never told Johnny that they were a victim, they didn't believe they were in the slightest. So to be clear, this is yet another person who does not see themselves as a victim being co-opted by Johnny Silvestri for his own gain. And someone so afraid of Johnny retaliating just for telling the f***ing truth that they don't even want to risk Johnny identifying who they are at all. But they did also ask us to tell Johnny directly, quote, "Hey
Johnny, you don't have any power anymore. What little tiny bit of power you had, you do not have it anymore. Because I can tell you now, you can breathe wrong and people are going to be on your ass about it. You have literally, in your words, fucked around and found out. Literally. I don't know. Maybe 20 more minutes, 30 more minutes.
have to stop doing this. You are hurting yourself. You are hurting other people, and you are hurting yourself. I wish you would understand that you're doing more harm than good in this situation. The truth is, both of these people basically told us the same thing. They are afraid of Johnny Silvestri, of Johnny taking their stories, their own agency, and their experiences in what at least one of them has explicitly called Johnny's quest for revenge against Joshua. They are literally telling him that he is hurting them. He is victimizing these people.
Because he doesn't care about anybody but himself. He doesn't care about anybody. His whole end goal is to have a big YouTube channel. That is his whole end goal.
And it needs to stop. Johnny, leave these people alone, period. If they get further exposed, the world will know that it was you behind it. Leave them alone. I don't want to put words or emotions in your mouth. Have you ever felt afraid of Johnny or trapped being able to express how you feel?
I've never felt trapped by him. I've just felt he's been incredibly irritating. I can't feel trapped by him even though he's been subtweeting me. My opinion of him in that retrospect is just that he comes across as very irritating because I'm not getting to the bottom of anything, so I don't feel trapped by him, because to feel trapped by him, I would feel that there was something I was missing or whatever. But in actuality, it's just Johnny not being honest, and to me, that is not someone that's threatening to me. That is someone that's just very irritating.
You don't have to be threatened by him because you've been telling the truth about your shit since you were 17 years old. You've been telling the truth about the shit since 2020.
Now, as always with the docs in the series, I want to make a direct statement to Colleen Ballinger. Colleen, my DMs are open if you ever want to speak. I've already messaged you a couple of times for comment. Now, if you want a model for how I would treat you in an interview, it'll probably be somewhere between how we exposed the devil in your shadow here and the more sit-down exposed nature of what's coming in part 4. Let's talk. There are a lot of people who just...
Oh, I can't wait for part 4. Oh my God, I can't wait for part 4. I cannot wait for part 4.
Deserve to hear from you. Now, back to Johnny, though. I can't shake the nagging feeling when listening back to the 6 hours that I was speaking to Johnny Silvestri that almost all of his language in referring to Josh tied back to social media and YouTube. He's pointed out Josh's follow count on multiple occasions.
I have 13,000 followers on Twitter right now. I had 1,000 last month. Maybe 50 of them were active. You are coming at me from a Twitter account with like over 200,000 followers. How is that fair?
It's very fair, okay? Look, I don't care if you have 1 follower. If you go on Twitter and talk shit, I don't give a shit that person has 1 million followers. They're absolutely allowed to say something back. The fuck? I hate that shit. I'm a small channel. You can't pick on me. No. Yes, I can. I absolutely can. Now, that doesn't mean that I direct my audience towards you. No, because I don't condone that as actions. I can fight by myself. Okay? I can fight by myself. I don't want my audience getting involved. Okay? I'm not going to direct my audience to get involved. But if I feel like I got something to say about what you said, absolutely, I will say something. That's the real Johnny story. The followers, yep.
You can't tell me that a guy who's just trying to live a quiet little life in Georgia with his new wife, why not delete that Twitter account where you have hundreds of thousands of eyes on you?
It seems like a kind of a tricky position if you were to just delete everything.
Oh, I think it would be a very dangerous thing to delete his Twitter account now. Why not delete that Twitter account? Don't go to a Twitter account where you have 250,000 followers and start tweeting from it if you don't like the attention. He's tweeting these apologies out to a Twitter account with hundreds of thousands of viewers. You are actively choosing to be a part of this narrative now.
You are so fucking jealous. You are literally green with envy. He is so fucking jealous of people. Damn. He's green with envy. And he goes back and forth.
Now, you know, yes, he got brought into it, or he's gotten dragged through the mud by me.
He keeps making references to how he viewed Joshua and later Colleen as his meal ticket or his ticket to stardom and his fantasy.
This was my ticket to success, my ticket to happiness. No one could take it away from me. I was trying to like create the fantasy I wanted, but it was just continuously being dragged down.
And he also mentioned that an appropriate means for Josh to respond instead of a DM would have been for Josh to make a YouTube video. What actions would you like to see Josh do? That would sick.
Now, mind you, people, Josh has apologized to him 4 times. 3 privately and 1 publicly.
Signal to you, he's changed, that accountability is being taken.
When I said jail, I thought of him sitting in this jail cell. So like that was kind of nice to like think about him doing that. But jokes aside, I don't know, it's gotta be for him. It can't be what I want, you know? I think in order to appeal, he has to live his true, authentic self. You had a platform. You know how to turn a camera on, and you know how to sit down in front of it and press record and make a video. I haven't wanted to make these videos. Tweeting.
You're lying. You're such a lying piece of shit.
How to turn a camera on, and you know how to sit down in front of it and press record and make a video. I haven't wanted to make these videos. Tweeting is not a good way of expressing yourself. So I would have really...
I cannot. I need a pumpkin spice latte and my Ugg boots. I cannot even. Which, by the way, I've been getting my I've been getting my basic self on. Pumpkin spice is at Dunkin' Donuts now, and believe me, I already had my pumpkin spice iced coffee already. FYI. Anyway, I cannot even with this dude, okay? I can't.
Really just liked to person-to-person talk to him over the phone. If that was not an option, personally, I don't know if I would have wanted to do that. So I would have really just liked to person-to-person talk to him over the phone. Personally, I don't know if I would have wanted to do that. So I think the next step I would have done as Joshua was to make a video.
Now, I find that last point a bit disturbing because he said this merely days after Joshua David Evans made a tweet in support of Colleen victims, saying, "I have no desire to use this as a catalyst for a YouTube comeback. It's not a safe place for me."
Yep.
Joshua closely ties his own well-being to not putting out YouTube content, something Joshua very much clarified with me, and something Johnny knows and even acknowledged in the interview. You mentioned making a video, Josh making a video as a potential thing that he could do.
Well, I think more like he should have.
Well, that he should have.
Be a bit redundant, to me at least.
He did intimate that he didn't want to make a video because he didn't want to be back on the internet in that capacity.
He's such a piece of shit. Look at his face.
Make a video because he didn't want to be back on the internet in that capacity.
I just can't be here now. I gotta go find some kind of peace, because I don't feel any peace right now.
If I just...
He's such a piece of shit. He is such a piece of shit. I want to smack that eye roll off his face. Ooh. Ooh. God, he's such a piece of shit.
Said, okay, Josh, sure, everything's fine. He would have had his redemption era, and he would have come back to the internet. Full swing.
You believe that he would, so you don't believe when he says that he has no intention of coming back to the internet. I believe he called it an unsafe place for him. I believe he was alluding to his mental health and his sobriety.
Well, so, I mean,
but you don't believe that.
Why is he trying to create a safe space in it then? Leave it alone if you think it's dangerous. I think he's a liar. You know, yes, he got brought into it, or he's gotten dragged through the mud by me. You know how to turn a camera on, and you know how to sit down in front of it and press record and make a video.
This is Johnny literally asking someone to harm themselves for him. Probably.
He doesn't care because, of course he is. He doesn't care. The only person that exists is him. Bro.
So that he can make a react video and get that bag, baby. And whether anyone believes it's deserved or not, in retaliation to Joshua David Evans, it's just so incredibly cruel to me that somebody would say that knowing he has a history with suicide ideations. In our interview, I asked Johnny multiple times what could be done for him to finally make peace with Joshua. Joshua has apologized privately and publicly to Johnny 4 times, and in the meantime, since Joshua apologized, Johnny has called Joshua a a groomer, a pedophile, an abuser, and so much more with little to no evidence. Not even a verbal accusation that makes sense. Johnny Silvestri has literally harassed Joshua David Evans for months. To put it very bluntly, given everything that we have investigated, we believe Johnny Silvestri has likely defamed someone publicly, likely with malicious intent, which means that the only adult in this story who has likely committed a civil wrong is Johnny Silvestri.
Yeah! Yeah! You think? 100%? 100%?
Where Joshua David Evans could seek damages. Let me read this from the Cornell Law School, and you tell me. To prove prima facie defamation, a plaintiff must show 4 things. Number 1, a false statement purporting to be fact. Number 2, publication or communication of that statement to a third person. Number 3, fault amounting to at least negligence. And 4, damages or some harm caused to the reputation of the person or entity who is the subject of the statement. And even worse than all of this, what Johnny has done, in my opinion, has actually hurt victims everywhere. At any point in time during all of this, did you ever have the feeling that Johnny was posting as much as he was with the goal of getting attention or views or celebrity or status?
The whole fucking thing. The whole fucking thing was for all of that.
Have you ever felt that way?
Don't look at me like that. Okay, I'll do like the journalistic approach where I like literally answer the question. Yeah, nothing was good enough. Like if I retweeted something from him, I needed to retweet it more. If I had just done a video about Colleen, he had made the exact same one the next day, and
he did do that. I did notice that. Every time Adam made a video, Johnny made a video. I did notice that. Yeah, did you see that smile Adam put? Adam was like, oh, do I get professional with this answer or do I get mucker with this answer?
And it definitely felt that there was an abuse of my platform, and I think there was an abuse with your platform, and I think furthermore, I love Jesse and Lily, and it pains.
Angsty Anon for $1.99. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $1.99.
me that their podcast episode with Johnny is going to be on the wrong side of history here. At a certain stage, I just had to completely pull back from him, and that's what I did.
Bro, listen, let me tell y'all something. You do not understand how excited I am for this interview. I cannot wait for this interview. For real, I can't wait for this interview. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of wish that Swoop, like, if I was like cool enough, if I was a cool kid on YouTube, I would love to be able to sit down and I won't even, Swoop, I don't know if you watch my shit. I don't know. I ended up in one of your videos, okay? But if there's a way that I can watch that 6-hour interview with Johnny and I won't even do it publicly. Won't even do it publicly. It will not be publicly shown. I just want to watch that video. I want to watch that interview with Johnny. Beginning to end, I want to watch that video. Then again, it might not be a good idea for me to do it because it may break my computer. But I would love to see that video. I can't wait for this Josh, though. I can't wait for this Josh part.
Now, about Joshua David Evans. I've made a very conscious decision throughout the course of this documentary to only allow Joshua David Evans to speak for himself in places that he...
Well, if I'm watching it by myself, my mic will be okay. Because I'm not going to be talking in my mic. So, I may break my computer, though. The computer may, or a screen, at least a screen may end up broken. But it's okay. I'll just take one of my husband's. You know. He has the nicest screens anyway.
He spoke publicly. The reason is because by platforming Josh's story in this doc, we run the risk of turning this into a he said story. Now, why am I saying all of that? Because, well, Johnny told me this.
The world does want to hear Mr. Evans. The world wants to hear all of them.
So, here you go, Johnny.
Alrighty, Josh interview, take one.
My name is Joshua David Evans. I'm 39.
Joshua, we have a lot to talk about. Obviously, there are allegations that have been levied against you, and we're going to get into those, but you have also alleged that you are a victim as well, a victim of abuse, and that's something that I and my team take very seriously.
Ooh, I can't wait to see this!
So I went from the boyfriend to the fiance to the husband to now I started to feel almost like a character, like I was replaceable. She loved the attention, she loved the status. But do I think she truly loves her fans? I never really felt like she did. I think she just loved what it gave her. She's having a few people over to the house, and I was like, who? They said, Eric. And when I walked through those doors, it reeked of alcohol and cigarettes. And no one was there. Nobody was there. And then I went upstairs, and she was sitting on our bed, playing her ukulele. As I was leaving...
Fuck that ukulele. That ukulele has seen some shit. Has it not? What did you do, Velvet?
But I looked at her, and I said, when you're effing Eric in our bed, I want you to think of me. I've lost everything. I lost my career. I lost everything that I built.
Johnny has accused you of some very serious allegations. He has accused you of grooming him. Do you agree with that characterization of you?
No. At first, it felt normal and chill to have, like, oh, that's Johnny. He's at the show. I didn't know that was going to be time and time and time again, that he would continuously show up at these shows.
He always just popped up. Johnny just always popped up at his shows. Like, he was always surprising him, wasn't he? And that's from Johnny's own words. Johnny was the one that was talking about how he was always surprising him. Just saying, you know?
He's out there dragging my name publicly, calling me a little bitch. Everyone's like, poor Johnny, I can't believe Josh just abandoned you. And I'm like, who do you think you are? My life was wrecked.
Conductor for $5. I want Swoop exclusively with the ukulele. I want it wearing little glasses and a tiny neckerchief.
Yes, I sat down with Joshua David Evans in an exclusive interview. In fact, since Johnny seems to think that the length of my interviews determines how important someone is, this exclusive interview with Joshua went 7 hours. You're welcome, Johnny.
Damn right, 30 more minutes than yours, Johnny. You know why? Because his story is more important than you. Because apparently, important stories have to do with how long the damn interview is, you dummy.
And I did not go easy on Joshua in this exclusive interview in the slightest. This interview is brutal. This interview is emotional. And most importantly, this interview is honest. Something I never got in 6 hours with Johnny Silvestri. Is there anything that you would want to say directly to Johnny?
No, he means nothing to me. Just like he did a couple weeks ago.
Period. Period. Point blank period.
I think there's something to be said about what I feel is part of the root of all of this, the culture that Colleen Ballinger and her content fostered. Sometimes it's difficult to see the line of where her influence ends and these stories begin, but it troubles me greatly, and as much as I can, I still want to believe that somewhere inside Johnny is a hurting man who still has a chance to get the help he needs, and in time may find healing to that hurt.
I'm gonna be honest. Swoop is a better person than I am. I give no shits. I give no shits whether he gets help or not. The shit that he has done and has said, I could give two shits whether Johnny gets the help. Swoop is a better person than I am. Because you push it to a certain point, I do not care anymore. I mean, I can't. I'm not gonna wish somebody a good life who is a pathological liar. And pathologically want people to surround him instead of him integrating. I do not care. She's better than me. She's a good woman. She's a good woman. She's better than I am.
And that path starts with accountability. Johnny Silvestri embodies my "it's not drama, it's dangerous" mantra maybe better than anybody I've ever covered in these docs before, because in my opinion, Johnny turned his own drama into something dangerous. Now, if Johnny has trauma and he wants to express that to the world, he has the right to do that.
Oh yeah, everybody has the right to express their trauma. I mean, not according to Johnny. There's a timestamp on it according to Johnny, but everybody has the right.
Just want him to do it honestly like everyone else and in a way that doesn't negatively affect everyone's well-being that I have spoken to today. So now some tough love that I hope you take to heart as you venture on that path. I'm going to address you directly now, Johnny. I fought for you. We fought harder for you and gave you every possible chance we could to help you show your side, and you betrayed me. For 6 straight hours, you gaslit me, manipulated me, and made me afraid to tell the truth, and I should never be afraid to tell the truth. In my opinion, you used victims.
That's pretty fucked up. You made Swoop afraid to tell the truth. That's fucked up. That's really, really fucked up.
You abused victims, and you crawled in the shadows amongst them to hide your sins. You told me your grooming was worse than me being sexually abused for years. You told me domestic survivors have a ticking clock. You came on my platform where I have a community of countless survivors watching who were ready to support you, and you dared to diminish them with your bullshit.
True! True, ma'am. Very true.
And degrade me to my face, all so that you could be the star of the show.
I am too, Zoe. I'm glad she made the video. Anyway, despite of that. Let's talk Rose. Thank you for joining the Just Saying Squad. I appreciate it.
Around with Swoop, and now you found out. There's still time, Johnny. Do the right thing. Apologize, take accountability, and most of all, be honest with yourself. You cannot grow or change until you do these things, and I have to believe change is possible for everyone, even with you. The truth will...
Hell yeah, he got swooped. Absolutely. And I love the fact that that shit is in Urban Dictionary. That it is literally... I love that's a thing now. Getting swooped, I love the fact that it is a thing now. And it should be. It should be. 100%.
Set you free. Okay, as always, please excuse the brief tone shift as a bit of a palate cleanser for the things that I have to say that I do at the end of. Finally, constant reminder of just how powerful brain.
Okay, that sweatshirt is pretty dope, though. I have to give it. TJ499, Johnny surely messed with the wrong person, and now he will reap what he sowed. Karma is a bitch. Period. Point blank. Period.
Reign, an organization devoted to protecting survivors. I am doing this in hopes that he can be honest with himself finally and get the help that he needs. I am also launching a brand new second channel that you can subscribe to right now, where I will be producing entire new docs on topics truly mind-bending, as well as interviews, and I hope you join me over there. It is also linked below. Be sure to chat my link below and check out Seek.
Okay. Wait, I think that's it. Is that it? Oh yeah, final thoughts.
Now, let me please refocus the support and attention back on the victims, Adam, Becky, Ella, Oliver, Alex, and others who have and haven't come forward, because they are the most important priority. I did not expect this story to go this way at all. I want to believe in people's goodness, and thankfully, after spending so much time getting to know the stories of Adam, Becky, Oliver, Alex, Ella, and so many others, I know that all is not lost, because these are truly good people who were hurt by others but found their truth and their power in spite of it. Their pain is valid, their voices are valid, and their strength is valid.
Yeah, you know who's not valid? Johnny. Johnny, you're a nobody. You're not valid. No one cares.
So proud of all of them for standing up for themselves, even when at times the world doubted them. Nothing that man has done takes away from their truth. Nothing. Thank you to all of you for watching, for giving me the space to share this story. I know it's been a long one.
Yes. Oh, wait. I got a bunch of re-ups again. Hold on. We got to cut off the notifications. Hey, a bunch of re-ups. I don't know why it does this to me, but it does. Okay, so now, remember my yellow highlighter moments? Now I'm going to give you why I think he did what he did. Besides the fact that he's a narcissist and the world is supposed to revolve around him, okay? The yellow highlighter moments were, he surprised him, they had a coffee date, Josh dumped me, he was ghosted by Josh. He liked the attention he got. Josh was supposed to take Johnny with him. He still has the duct tape ball and the crown. Remember the crown that he wrote the phone number on in front of his parents, and the parents were happy about it? He got to know Johnny, although they barely spoke, but he got to know Johnny on an intimate level, and he struck out, or he got to know Josh at an intimate level, and he struck out with Josh. And Josh, in his first apology, noted Johnny's attachment to him. I honestly believe that, yes, he is obsessed, because I think in his brain, he thought he was in love with Josh. I think he thinks he fell in love with Josh. Yes, Eminem called and he wants his song back. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I think what he thinks was love wasn't actually love. It was obsession. It was standum. But I think that he thinks he was in love with Josh. And for some twisted, maybe sick reason, either he wanted a relationship with Josh or he thought he was in a relationship with Josh. And it turned into an obsession like no other. Because he literally talks about Josh. When I did those yellow highlighter moments, I noticed, hold on, because I'm looking through my notes. Hold on. Because I'm going to tell you, there was 19 chapters. Okay, there were 19 chapters in this video. It was, hold on. Nope. Okay, it was chapter 13 when I started, when it hit me, oh my God, was he in love with Josh? Because the way he would talk about Josh, he would talk like they were dating. He talked like Josh literally dumped him. It's like he was talking about an ex-boyfriend. It's like he was literally talking about an ex-boyfriend. Like, bro. Now, I don't know if he actually thought that a relationship was, like, whether it could happen or not. Because, obviously, after the divorce, he took Colleen's side. Okay? But I think he had an interest in Josh. Okay, here's the thing. Swoop didn't say it, but Swoop noticed it. You can tell in this video, Swoop noticed it. She noticed it. But she's a little more professional than I am. But I honestly believe, that's what I believe. That is my conspiracy theory, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. And that is something that I would love to ask Johnny. Johnny, did you have, like, romantic, like, interest in Josh? Because the way you talk about Josh, it sounds like you had romantic interest in Josh. Yes, get us to 300 likes. Hell yeah. That would be awesome if y'all can get me 300 likes. Yeah, and bro, I think Swoop noticed it. But, of course, now, Swoop was also talking to him about other serious issues. Like, mine is more petty. But I really think he was romantically interested in Josh. And I think he feels like he was turned down, or how he put it. How did he put it? He was he struck out with Johnny, and that hurt his feelings. Because he struck out with Josh, and that hurt his feelings. Because look how Johnny's acting now. Johnny acts like everybody's supposed to revolve around him. Not the other way around. And Joshua didn't fall in line with that. Yeah, Swoop was being professional. Absolutely. And a good thing she did. Because had she went off like I would have, she wouldn't have got all those answers. Because of how he just, the more he talked, the more he just spewed out shit telling on himself. Yeah, he's acting like a scorned lover. Yes. Yes, he's acting like a scorned lover. Hint for 5. Never go full parasocial, folks. 100%. Never do that. Ever, ever, ever. Never, 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 never do that. Never, ever. Well, and that's probably why he turned into a stalker. I don't know if he was a stalker, though. Because, well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Swoop lets you dig your own grave. Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to make Swoop mad at me. I'm telling you now, if Swoop had made a video on me, I'm gone. Y'all ain't never gonna see me again. I'm ghosting. I'm ghosting all of you. I am ghosting all of you. I am gone. I'm not coming back. My last tweet would be like, you know what? I'm sorry. And I'm out. And Swoop even looked at me sideways like, oh fuck, she might make a YouTube short on me. I'm gone. I'm out. Peace out. I'm gone. I have that healthy fear of her and her platform. Oh man, y'all wouldn't see Pumpkin no more, Edna, Penelope, or me. We would be gone forever. Goblin, did that really happen? Are you being serious or are you trolling? Did that really happen? Wait, did young CRIP really pass, or are you just trolling? You gotta be trolling. Check your Discord DMs, please. Oh, no. Oh. Damn, bro. Really? Ricky Burrick tweeted out, "This hits hard. You were fucking crazy at times, but I loved every Twitter war / beef we had together. Or against. Rest in peace." And here is the GoFundMe. It's with a heavy heart that we announce the passing of Donovan Castillo. Damn, bro. All right. Please put RIP CRIP, RIP with hearts, RIP, doesn't matter. Just put those in the chat. This dude was cool as shit. TJ for $1.99. Johnny Depp will pay for what he did to Swoop. Damn, bro. That's so fucking sad. Well, shit. Damn. That was sad. By the way, TJ, thank you for the $1.99. Well, that sucks. Alright, well, I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah. Y'all have a good night. The Broads are going live at 10 p.m. and we're gonna do like a quick reference to the video that we just watched. And then we're going to go over Adam's video, the one that's is titled Swoops / Johnny. We're going to react to that video tonight. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at the broadcast. And we will see you there. And as soon as I can hit my music, I'm out. Hold on a second. Because you know I wasn't prepared for that. They threw me off with Young Crip. Alright, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.
Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent.
and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs a antiseptic.